Well, that was fun, wasn't it? A little bit of a hiccup. Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What are we doing this Tuesday night? It's Tuesday night, the 6th of September, 8 p.m. And where is everybody? Oh, it's funny. Tuesday night, 6th of September, 2022, 8 p.m. Sydney, Australian time, before we go into daylight saving. Welcome, everybody. How is everybody? Say hello. Let me know that you're there. Let me know where you're tuning in from. It's all a bit of fun. So, yeah, we have a few people jumping on. That's fantastic. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome to Tuesday evening. It's been a while, hasn't it? I haven't done one for a while, and it's so goddamn cold here. But anyway, it's all good. Hello to Bronwyn. Hello, Mila. Jocelyn Stevens. Okay, Sonia. Sydney, Central Coast. Cool bananas. Vicky, hello, my darling. I hope you are well. You're in Wodonga. It's always nice to get a bit of a mixture about who's watching where. Okay, a little bit of housekeeping up front, as we all know. Like and share the video to either your friends, to your own page, to a group, to anything that you feel that you wish to. So I'm just going to do that to a couple of pages right now, and I hope you're all doing the same. So as you all know, excuse me, well, I shouldn't say that because some of you may not know. If you're new, to get a guaranteed reading tonight, it's $15 donating into my PayPal account, which is running along the bottom of the screen, plus also in that running on the bottom of the screen is another little exciting little announcement there, which is all fantastic. And yeah, we will jump into this very, very soon. Who else have we got joining? Oh, Mina, hello. Catherine. Okay, perfect. We're all starting to like and share. That's fantastic. So as I said, guaranteed readings tonight, $15 into my PayPal account, and then your world is your oyster, so to speak. Put up your question, and I can answer your question. I'm like a reader. Hello, good evening. Karen, hello. Vicky just said she can't hear me. Can everybody else hear me? Holly, first time here. Perfect. Stella, hello. Yeah, Vicky has said she can't hear me. So I'm just wondering. Hello, first time here. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Oh, Karen, I can heat. I love it. Oh, I so love that. Tony, hello. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Milo, first time here. Okay, if it's your first time here, how did you come across me? I mean, I used to do them every Tuesday night, and then I had so much going on in my business and personal life, and so much so that I stopped doing them for a while. Plus the fact that, a lot of my wording, a lot of my comments, a lot of the way I do things was all being copied. And of course, I didn't like that one little bit. I know some people say that, it is a... it is a compliment to be copied, and I get that and I appreciate that. However, every single time I do something, when it gets copied, that kind of gets beyond a joke. So hence I've had a little time off from these lives. I've certainly kept myself busy with all my other work. I struggle to read this tonight. I don't know why. The lighting is just bad tonight. Anyway. Catherine Butterworth, just your name and let me know that you've popped it into the PayPal. That's fine. I'm sure it will come up with just your name, and then I will, call that name out, and then you can ask away your question. Yeah, and in public too. Yeah, they do. Karen, thank you. I know it's been a while. I'm just explaining. I haven't done this for a while. I have been okay. I seriously been okay. Well, apart from a dislocated shoulder, but that's wasn't a full dislocation. But anyway, it's all good. We grin and bear these things. Holly, you was on my page. Okay, perfect. I watched you on Psychic TV. Brilliant. I'll tell you what, Psychic TV emailed me today, and I will put it on my page probably tomorrow. But Psychic TV emailed me today. The CEO emailed me today, and somebody had written in this amazing review. It was a few years old, actually, and I don't know why they've decided to send it now. But apparently I read for this particular person in 2006, and I predicted something, and I said through the reading that, predictions to what it was can take up to 10 years. Anyway, it happened to a T about 7 years later, and she was writing in to virtually just express her gratitude and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Margarita, not on these lives. No, I don't. I can, Margarita, I can instant message you bank account details if you wish. Are we connected on Messenger? Yes, we are. So just sorry peeps, just 2 seconds while I get this organized for Margarita, so you can chat amongst yourselves. That's funny, isn't it? I can imagine you lot chatting amongst yourselves, and that would be funny. Margarita, I've just sent you details via Messenger, since you haven't got PayPal. Perfect. Okay, Karen, yeah, it was a big ouch. Sorry, but is that question I mentioned okay? Oh, did you ask me a question, Catherine? Sorry, the screen goes so quickly, it's just crazy. Do you do love description, physical or name, etc.? Okay. Catherine, names, if spirit throws you one, that's fine. Sometimes, well, not some, a lot of the times I will get a description if there's somebody coming into your life, because you're asking about another person. If somebody's coming into your life, sometimes spirit will actually show me either their mannerisms, the way they looked. As for fertility dates as such, spirit might throw me a particular number, which could either mean a date or the month of the year. But it's very rare that spirit will say, oh, something is going to happen on the 6th of the 9th, 2022. Do you know what I mean? Because spirit is energy, and, spirit really has a huge amount of no concept of time. That's why we have to do certain things before we go to bed. And but having said that, we can always see what spirit likes to bring in. I'll tell you what, there's so many spirits running around this place tonight. It's just extraordinary. Anyway. Vicky, thank you for your lovely comment. That's a movie, chatting amongst ourselves. I know. Kaz, thank you for joining. Guaranteed readings are $15 into my PayPal, which is running along the bottom of my screen. Dana Harris, hello. I haven't seen you in my life for a while. There's probably some people lurking in the background tonight that aren't saying their names. I think I'm being spied on tonight. Oh. Anyway, let's kind of get into a bit of guts of this. For anyone who actually doesn't know who I am, I go under the spiritual name of Mystique, and I've been I've been a natural born psychic medium, and been talking and connecting with spirits since I've been the age of 3, and I'm now 60, so it's a long time I've been doing this. And I do mediumship, tarot, oracle, numerology. I used to do astrology, but I've kind of moved away from that now because, especially on these lives, it's just too entailed to do. I cleanse and remove, past traumas as such, and kind of let you, spirit always lets me know kind of what's there that you're hanging on to. That a lot of that comes up in readings, but they're actually kind of more in depth readings as such. So anyway, a little bit. And what else? Weekend just gone. I was 2 nights in the city for the Australian Small Business Champions. On the Saturday night I was crowned a little bit of a special one, because I'm the only psychic medium Australia-wide that's ever been, as they said, crowned a finalist in 23 years of the history of doing the Australian Business Awards. And they are throughout Australia. So my business is in the top 2% Australia-wide. So it was a very special moment to have that read out on stage, that, the only psychic medium 23 years. I mean, that's just extraordinary. And I've actually got there 6 years running. So it was wonderful. It was a wonderful moment. And did I cry? Yes, I did. But I mean, I don't go around with an ego, and I'm always very humbled and honored when something like that happens. And as I get told, a testament to all my years. Just as I said that, spirit grabs my throat, which spirit often does. Anyway, so I've obviously got, before I connect with anybody, I've obviously got a spirit here that where someone has lost, I want to say, actually recently, through something in the throat. One of two things, because they're not bringing themselves forward as such, apart from attacking my throat. It's either somebody who has had throat cancer, but pretty hard throat cancer, or somebody that's actually taken their own life, which is what I feel that one is. But anyway, going to push on from that, because if someone is here already on tonight that has that, if they could just let me know, and we'll see what comes of that. Okay, so thank you everybody for your kind comments. It's really nice that I don't say that to get your attention as such, but yeah, it's very much an honor to be amongst the elite, and so much so that I was asked to. I got a special, two men in tuxedos came over to the table, and I was sitting with people. I had no idea who they were, because it was just, I think there was about 3,000 of us at the Star in the city, and they gave me a little envelope, and I opened the envelope, and it was his personal invitation that after the awards to attend the penthouse in the Star, which was having a party for the owners who run the awards, and all their top sponsors as such. So it was great to kind of walk in, and people just wanted to know my story, and then they asked me to come back on the Saturday night to to speak about part of my story and then present an award. So that was wonderful. But yeah, Catherine Butterworth and Danielle Johnson, I have received your donation, so thank you very much. And I think I got Catherine's first, so let's have a look. Catherine, do you have a question that you would like answered tonight? Oh, your grandfather had emphysema. I wonder if I've already got him, because I actually mentioned your name a little while ago. It was. Whew, it hit me, like as soon as I was saying something, it just hit me right in the throat. But anyway, and Sarah Boardman, you're third. So, Catherine, if you could pop up your question, that would be fantastic. And then after that, I have Danielle Johnson and then Sarah Boardman. Okay, so I'm just waiting for Catherine Butterworth to pop up your question. That would be amazing. And then I have Margarita after that. I just want to keep you all in check. So Catherine Butterworth, Danielle Johnson, Sarah Boardman, and Margarita. That's how it will go in these readings. I don't want to be sitting here doing nothing. Come on. Look, what? It just gets too long in the tooth. Catherine Butterworth, can you please pop up your question? That would be awesome. Here we go. I was just going to go off to somebody else then. Okay. Physical as much detail to the man I will settle with. And when will I get pregnant, please? Okay, Catherine, I say everything with the greatest respect, and the Spirit always brings through the most important thing that you need to know right now. And people that know me know that's how, Spirit loves to come through with me. If I have your granddad, I'm going to say, granddad, if it's you, please don't attack my throat, because we're going there again. But at the end of the day, and I just want to sort of say to people that if I look away from the camera, it's because Spirit's showing me something, and I kind of have to look over to see what visions they're showing me. So don't ever think I'm being rude or anything like that. That's just how Spirit and I work, because they don't often come directly in front of me. They're kind of always off to the side, and they normally go off to the right-hand side of me. Sometimes they attack me on the left. I shouldn't say that word attack, because they don't really attack, do they? But yeah, Catherine. Okay, the first number that I've actually been thrown at is the number 3, and that could either mean, your grandfather is strongly trying to let me know something, because it's really, really grabbing my throat, and I'm hoping that he can actually say something, because he seems to be sitting in the background, and when they sit in the background, it's either that they just need to know that I'm feeling their presence before they say anything, or they're just stopping on by to look over, you and kind of wonder what's going on. But I hope he actually comes forward and says something particular for you. So the number 3 that I'm also being thrown at, it's either the 3rd day of a month, or of course the month of March. Having said that, the month of March, as in next year, like it's 9 months for a pregnancy, of course, I actually don't see that being the case. I think it will take a lot longer than that. And what I mean by that, I'm not saying it'll take forever, but it will take. That would mean you kind of got to get pregnant now to have it then. So I don't think it's March next year that you're going to, give birth to bubs as such. But I do want you to note down the number 3. And if you've already, when you get next year's diary, put a big circle around the month of March, and just kind of focus on that number 3, because I feel like that by then, and look, Christmas time this year, I don't know where you work, and I don't know if it's a Christmas party that your work puts on or someone that's really close to you that you attend a Christmas party with that you have done in the past. And what I get shown is that Christmas time, this particular party, I feel that there's about 40 odd people there, maybe pushing it to 50, because it's not a really big room, but it's very crowded when Spirit is showing me this particular room. It's there where you're going to meet someone. And now what I see in the distance, everybody is dressed very, very well. It's not a black tie event, but everybody is dressed very well. And, it's almost like a love story. Sorry, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at you, but it's when Spirit shows me things, I kind of go, why am I wandering through this dance floor and pushing people out of the way to kind of get to the person that's, calling my name at the other side? This gentleman that's kind of waiting in the wings, as I want to say, at the bar, is almost like standing there like that true Aussie, even though he's wearing a suit, like standing there like a true Aussie that's kind of to the side, an elbow on the bar, as if to say, well, I'm just going to sit here and have I'm being thrown the scotch, so I don't know. I don't know whether Granddad was the scotch drinker, but it's this gentleman that just has a scotch and ice. I mean, that seems to be really important. This scotch and ice is what I get shown, and he's just casually sipping it, virtually just surveying the whole area, not judging people, not checking everybody out. He's just like, I'm here to attend, and I'm just surveying everything around me. Your energy captivates his attention, and you don't have to do much for that captivation to start, because it's almost like he's kind of going, where am I drawn? And that's why he's surveying. And when he's surveying, all of a sudden he goes, you're it. Okay. And I say that with the greatest respect when I say you're it, because that's not very romantic as such, but it's when he's connected to your energy, it seems like also too between. I also have to kind of stop it there for a second, because I kind of need to bring the other part in, which is there's a little bit that you need to do about removing older and what I want to say stale energy from yourself before this event at Christmas time, because I feel that if that stale energy is not removed, then the Christmas party is not going to be what Spirit is showing me. So I'm just kind of getting in saying, have you commented somewhere? Sorry. Well, there you go. Obviously the scotch was important somewhere. But yeah. I mean, he's not a Scotsman, he's an Aussie. So if you're looking for a Scotsman as such, he's an Aussie. But I just feel that there is some stale energy within you right now, and whether that's from past stuff or some pressures that have gone on with some family things, it's just that there's a little bit of knot tying, I want to say, that's gone on with you and in your system, okay? And yeah, if that's kind of healed and moved on. I mean, I always like the word release because I can't stand the wording let it go. I even didn't like that wording before Frozen came out. So, anyway, but yeah, I just feel once you remove that staleness, that your energy lifts. You come back to being, and it's one of my pet, I won't say it's my pet hate, it's my pet love when I teach people just how to be themselves, like just be you, without having an ego, without having a, anything surrounding anything as such. When you come back to just being you, your energy changes, because it's almost like you kind of go, do you know what? I'm here for a reason, and I want to do this for a reason, and happy, not necessarily happiness, but a higher form of energy is kind of like, your aura that you bring to the table, so to speak. So, I do really feel dry, and Spirit keeps showing me this Christmas party. So if you go to one every year with your work, or what I was told in the first instance is if there's a close friend that invites you to one, please attend them this year, because this is where all this is going to happen. So, and then like Christmas to March, you've got time to explore one another, but I really don't see the pregnancy to later on. Like there's nothing that can be done quickly with this, because your chemistry is drawn, but pregnancy, I want to go 2 years rather than the 1 year, because it's too soon, and this relationship will build. And I'm not going to say that you're in a desperate hurry, but parts of your way of thinking, you kind of think that you're not coming to the end of the line, but you're running out of time, so to speak. And I don't believe that you are. But also, too, if you put that pressure on yourself, all your organs tense up, and it's impossible then to fall pregnant. And then people wonder why they can't. So bear that in mind as well, because Bubs is going to come, but you need to relax into a few things. And yeah, Christmas for you is just, I know there's a film that says, an extraordinary time of the year or a wonderful time of the year, whatever the wording is. But I think this Christmas for you is going to be very, very different to the norm. Okay. I'm 38 almost. Okay. 38 almost. If everything is healthy and happy and all the rest of it, age really these days is just a number. I repeat that so many times to people who don't believe and go on the old thing of, 40, everything slows down. Yes, the egg cycle slows down as such. But if your body is healthy and your mind is not pressuring yourself and you relax into it, you will fall pregnant. So, 40, 41, keep those numbers in mind, That's what I see and that's what I hear. So yeah, so I hope all that. So this man is not in my life already. No, he doesn't. Does he have a look? I can. Well, it's, as I said, like all Spirit showed me was this Aussie guy. Like, he doesn't have long hair. He's not a surfer or anything like that, but he was dressed in a suit. He's got this kind of swagger about him where he's comfortable in just leaning. It was on his left, like his left arm was leaning on the bar, just having this scotch, like virtually scotch and ice, just surveying. So, but there was a certain stance about him. So he's very confident in his own skin. He's not cocky. He doesn't have an ego, but he's very confident in his own skin. So when you go to this Christmas, I got something, Spirit keeps chucking something in my mouth. When you go, you will see, because where Spirit took me to kind of part the dance floor and get to him, like it's almost like his eyes are triggering around just to, like, as I said, the word surveying. So, as I said, not cocky, no ego, just surveying, taking it all in, and then your eyes meet and the chemistry is just there, But, as I said, a few things before of removing some stale stuff before Christmas, that's for sure. All right, so I'll leave that there. Daniel Johnson, if you're here, if you'd like to pop up your question. Oh, Sterling, hello. Hello. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you on one of my lives, or maybe I have. It's been a while. I hope you're well, my love. Hi, Nita. Hi, Kim. Everybody remember, for a guaranteed reading, donate $15 in my PayPal, which is running across the bottom. And we will go from there. What do you see happening with my relationship with my husband? Oh, Daniela. Okay. Let me just wait and see what Spirit comes in with that. So after Daniela, I've got Sarah, and then I've got Margarita. Hey, Lockie. Long time. Yes. Yeah. I'm well, thank you, Sterling, and I hope you're doing cool as well. Just been ages since I've seen your face. Nice to you to jump on in. Fantastic. Okay, Danielle. Happening with your hubby. My goodness. with all due respect, and I say that quite often because sometimes Spirit says things where I kind of go, okay, I really have to ensure that everybody that I'm reading for knows that I'm certainly not having a dig at anybody. I say what I hear generally. Sometimes things are blunt. Sometimes I do clean it up a little bit too before I say it. But yeah, I actually say exactly what I hear. And Danny, I kind of want to go back, and I'm being shown the number 6. I want to go back 6 weeks with you and kind of sort of say what on earth happened that particular day or night 6 weeks ago, because Spirit is sort of saying there's a lot of not so many nice things that were said. There was something that sort of happened through the day that made it escalate further through the night. And if it's not, I don't believe it's 6 months. I believe it's 6 weeks, because I'm showing like a shorter span, so I'm not being shown like a longer thing. So the number 6 is very very significant there. And I want to say too that sometimes, wow, okay, sometimes with all due respect, sometimes you don't know when to bite your tongue. Sorry, but, and I understand why, because you're kind of reacting to things that are said. But I actually, if I go back that 6 weeks, I'm actually thinking that something else also happened through the day, and then something when you got home, or when he got home, something else triggered, and it made it escalate too quickly, which is why Spirit is showing me that you I don't want to say foot and mouth disease. I used to say that quite often, and now we've got it in Australia somewhere. But yeah, and I mean, I suffer from foot and mouth disease. I just generally blurt out what I feel because it's the truth. But I just think that some words that were said, I'm not sure were actually justified, but you were trying to justify yourself. Does this make sense? Because it's just, I feel that was kind of like a pressure cooker moment. I feel like that was some things that needed to get out of your system, because I feel that there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of confusion, and so Spirit is actually saying that you've had a split somewhere before, and then it was resolved, but similar behaviors are coming back up. And I think that's why you're kind of like jumping verbally to some behavior, to some comments, to things going around like that. Can you just let me know where you're sitting with that? That would be amazing. Okay. I don't quite know what that said. Okay, yes, we have. You're correct. Okay. Maybe that's not exactly what you were going to write. Maybe there was a spell check there. I would like to say to you that without having the complete picture in front of you, you need to ask more questions, but not go on the attack. And as I said before, I understand why the words came out as they did, but you're never going to get a complete answer when the words come out that way. So if you, another side of my business is kind of helping people in that sort of resolution as such. And I feel that some part of the story is missing, Spirit, because Spirit keeps showing me question marks. And when I see question marks, it's because things are not resolved. Things need sort of like more answers to, or somebody has to put their hand up and sort of say, do you know what, I want to make this work, but it doesn't seem like any of that's happening. Okay, which I actually feel quite sad. We did split things on any better. Well, that's the lack of communication. So, but can I ask you what was the thing 6 weeks ago? Because Spirit keeps throwing me this 6, and I keep seeing it time and time again. Oh my goodness. I think I still have Catherine's granddaddy. I think Granddad just wants to give everybody love because he just keeps going in my throat, which is really really bizarre. But yeah, Danielle, like I feel I feel there's sadness, but part of spirit is also showing me some relief as well. And again, I say that with respect, because generally when people break up, we're always sad. I mean, but people do break up for a reason. But it's time. I think I said this, like, in a bit of the intro. It's time for you. And I want to say there are times that you have thought of everybody else but yourself. And when I say it's time for you, you matter. Like it feels like your words throughout particular, and this is maybe why the foot and mouth or the raising of the voice, when you try and speak, or when you try and get through a conversation or an argument, whichever way you want to put it, it seems like you feel that your voice is not heard. And hence, if you raise your voice, you think it's going to be heard, but the other person blocks it out because they've tuned off. They've tuned off. And, at some point you've got to say, do I deserve better? I think you do. I think you deserve far more respect. And I think that it's time to sort of make that decision and going, do you know what? If we've split before and again now, it's time to really look at yourself. Because until you kind of sit there and go, I'm worth more than this, it's only then that some of your mindset changes. Okay. Do you see me being on my own? Because this is where I'd like to be headed. Okay, well, that decision is yours. I mean, spirit is directing me into, your worth, your value, and when we say enough is enough, it's only then that our mind is clearer to make decisions. And I'm never going to sit here and tell anybody that they're better off single or whatever, because there's a lot of circumstances that surround a lot of things. If that's where you want to head, but also to be mindful of how you're going to heal from that as well, because it could be like a healing process as well, and making sure that you kind of got a couple of people up your sleeve that you can depend on. No, depends the wrong word, that you can express certain things with, to make sure they actually have your back, rather than just being there and not really being there. Because we've all got some friends like that say that they got your back, they've got everything covered, but when push come to shove, that they actually not, right? So make sure that's all in line, but that decision to be headed into single life is a decision that you make. But if you feel that I feel like spirit is showing me, like, again and again, they're saying that you're worth more, and when you're worth more and you go down that single path and you have that time then to heal, it's only then that your mindset changes, but also too your energy changes and your energy shifts. And that's when the energy that you're giving out is like all the kindness, all the loving, all the gentle. And that's when you attract other people. When you're caught in a world of hurt and pain and anger, the energy that you put out is actually cold. And you can't control that. That's all with inner feelings and mindset and all the rest of it. So, I think it's time to stand tall for you and be who you are. Okay. And I'll leave that one there. Okay. Sarah Boardman. If you're here, if you want to pop up your question, that would be awesome. Oh, he's a drinker. That's why. Okay. I didn't see that before. But yeah, that changes a whole, when people either drink, smoke drugs, or take drugs, whichever, they don't have control of all the cells in their brain. So sometimes that can, go a bit crazy. So it says a lot. But if that person wants to work on themselves to stop the drinking, the drugs, or whatever, then that shows strength and courage, because they want to do that to better themselves. But if they want to continue down that path, well, then that's not something that I would entertain as such, because you can't really, you're kind of looking at volatile situations, because their brain cells are kind of zapped away each time they do that. So anyway, that's all good. Michael, good evening. Thank you for joining. I see you've popped a question up. I may get to that later, but also too, just remember, guaranteed readings are $15 to pop and donate into my PayPal, which is running along the bottom of the screen. Perfect. Sarah. Just wondering if Spirit has a message for me. Please, work, love, life. Sarah. Sarah, okay. No, Lee, hello. Thank you. What a lovely comment. See, isn't that gorgeous? Thank you. Back to Sarah. Just want to please work, love, life. What do I actually? Oh, okay. We're going to go work first. Okay. I have about 10 spirits in my ear yelling at all this stuff. Tony, yes. The short answer, yes. Because I know, you don't have PayPal, so yeah, bank account, that's fine, love. Spirit wants to direct me to work, and virtually, wow, I don't even know what you do. However, I'm being shown a like an office area with about 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then something to the right. It looks like 5. I don't know if I'm in a conference room or an ordinary office area where I've got 5 desks or 5 things that look like desks. Maybe they're portal stands or something. But yeah, I want to go 5 desks, and there's something towards the back to the right-hand side, which I believe might be a sign-in, sign-out thing. But yeah, I feel like that area is got some negative, like a lot, not just a bit, a lot of negative energy in there. Can you jump in for me, please, Sarah, and let me know what that is? Maybe it's your home. No, I don't think it's your home. I really think it's your work. It's not an arena that I would see set up in someone's home. It's more about, okay, thank you. I saw 5, but I saw 5 and something at the back to the right-hand side. So I'm not sure. Chrissy Lee. No, it's not too late. I normally go for a couple of hours, so it's all good, my love. It's all good. So where I saw 5 and the one towards the back, and I guess Spirit separated that for a reason. So whichever one from where you sit that is behind you and virtually to the right of you behind you, there's a lot of negative energy around that. And I think that it kind of hits you day in, day out. I think you go home quite drained all the time. Do you think it's time to move out instead of not just move your table or chair, whatever, move out? Like, because I just think that the whole scenario just feels wrong to me. And look, I know you go in there to do your job, and you do it well, because you and I want to say that you actually talk to 2. There's 2 people in there that I think that you talk to quite a bit. But again, Spirit is kind of going too much natter, and you need to zip it, so to speak. Yes, there's a spare desk behind where I sit, and it's actually my mum who works there too. Okay. So the kind of the natter needs to stop, because there's other people there that are taking information on to disadvantage you later, if that makes sense. People that aren't engaging in those particular conversations too much, they're just kind of nodding or yes. They're going to try and capitalize on that somewhere along the line. So I think that, the whole scenario needs to be relooked at. But I think you should be looking elsewhere, because also too, I don't think that you're being valued. I don't think the work that you do, you're actually being valued by someone in particular. So And I actually want to go like two managers up, not one. So as I'm being shown, like two up the level is sometimes very loud, but also two sometimes a little bit arrogant, and sometimes that kind of I guess what I want to say condescending tone is not helping you with other issues. So I'm not sure if your mum's watching this, and it's got nothing to do with your mum, but other issues that have gone in your life. I think you've had a condescending male voice in your ear, which has kind of been challenging at times. So yeah, I would say start looking around. I don't see you actually moving though till after Christmas. Christmas seems to, that's twice that Spirit have kind of jumped in with something to do with Christmas, but I see you changing jobs on the other side of Christmas. But also too, that also comes with new stuff, like apart from a new job, which I think is actually quite exciting, because Spirit kind of just jumped and just threw me a star. Then I kind of went, oh, okay, I'm getting a star. That doesn't mean you're going to be a star in the new work. Although I'm joking when I say that, but it means that there's something else exciting there. So to me, that's meeting new people. That's starting to go out with a different crowd of people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with all your friends, but I still keep hearing that two of them are taking on board information to capitalize and come in behind you later, if that makes sense. If you can actually let me know that would be fantastic. Because yeah, it's not, it's, the work thing doesn't feel great to me. And when I feel that negativity, like, the first thing that I often want to say is, just get out. But I don't want you to pack it in until you've got something else. But as I said, I do see that on the other side of Christmas. But coming with that, meeting a whole new lot of people that broadens your horizon is what I want to say. Okay. I definitely had two friends at work who have done that to me. Okay. So, yeah, be mindful of that, and it's more about, instead of doing this, it's more about keeping it closed. And especially if they've used it against you before, they're obviously building up something there to really kind of bring you down, whether they're envious of how well you do your job, or how much that you seem to enjoy it or whatnot, or just simply because your mother's in, they think that maybe you're the favorite, whichever the case may be. It doesn't matter. We don't have to justify their behavior, but it's more about you going, do you know what? Keep this, and then start looking for elsewhere, because elsewhere will bring you so much more. Yeah, it'll bring you so much more. So I hope that helps you. Now I have to go to Marguerite, because she paid into my bank account. And then after Marguerite will be Jacqueline. And then after Jacqueline will be I did see someone's name a little while ago. After Jackie will be Chrissy Lee. And after that will be Dikwa Parker. Just then my PayPal just crashed. Not crashed, but yeah, just went offline. Oh, now I don't know my own password, apparently. Spirit, what are you doing? Perfect. Marguerite, if you can let me know your question, that would be awesome. Chrissy Lee, I will get to you shortly. After Marguerite, I have Jackie, then I have yourself, and then I have I haven't seen Dikwa Parker for a while. I'm glad you're joined. How amazing is that? Okay. Here we go. I just want to know how my father is now, 1 year and 9 months. Is he happy? Does he see us when we go visit the cemetery? And is he happy that Mum moved house? Oh, I'm so glad you moved house, my lovely. I think psychics say they don't remember everything, but I seem to think with you that I vaguely remember in a reading ages ago that there was talk about moving home, and I think I directed you into moving, because I think you were scared of moving away because of Dad. I mean, I'm not saying my memory is perfect, and that sort of thing, because we do, I do remember a lot of things, and then but they're in sort of like, spits and span. Sarah, thank you so much for your feedback. That's brilliant. Tony, thank you. Tony, you will be after Dikwa Parker. So if we can bear all that in mind. Jocelyn, it's your daughter's birthday today. Happy birthday. How old? Not that I can do anything, but it would be nice to, maybe we can all just sing happy birthday. Anyway, I'm going off topic. I don't know if you're at the cemetery recently, but I seem to be shown a white flower. It's kind of looks like a rose, but I don't think it's actually a rose. It's an open bloom, but it doesn't quite look like a rose. But along with it was like a deep, I won't go red, but it was like a deep pink color. Again, an open bloom, but not a rose. And these two colors seem to be significant with some flowers you placed there recently. I actually want to say to you that when you go there, and I say this with the utmost respect, when you go there, I know it's sad because you've lost someone that's really close, but he's just kind of pushing me to say, I'd rather you stand there and tell me some jokes. I don't know what the thing is about jokes. I don't know if he told good jokes, or whether he, like at events or family gatherings, whether he was like the head of the table and kind of ran the conversation as such. But it seems to he's kind of like, he knows that you're sad, but he would really rather, you guys tell some jokes, because he's such an astute man, and I want to say that, like he didn't really want to go, but he knew he had to go because there was nothing more that could be done, and I say that with respect in the sense of, when Spirit says something like that, he's more concerned about how you guys are going to be without him, and that's the sadness that you take to the grave. And look, I understand why, because sometimes it's really painful when people sort of say to me, oh, you must, take death with a grain of salt because you can talk to spirits. When I lose someone in my tribe, so to speak, or my family, I'm just as sad as the next person. What I kind of, I don't blurt it out to anybody as such. I mean, they all know what I do, but I don't brag that I'm going to connect with spirit, but I feel gifted and blessed that, after X amount of time, I will be able to connect with that, my friend or a family member, in spirit world, but it's still not the same as that person being in this realm. So I still, I have a heart, and, I feel, I feel the same way when someone that I know passes. Like, I will feel sad. I talk myself around by saying, I celebrate that person with the amount of years that I had with that person, because that's a compliment to spirit when you can actually turn the sadness or the anger or the hurt, whatever you're feeling at this time, if you can turn that around and celebrate the times that you had. And if some of that brings a smile to your face where you can actually do that at the grave, that's what Dad would like, because Dad likes that sort of stuff. My daughter didn't crack jokes, but Mum just cries and said, yeah. Look, I'm glad the joke thing and everything, came to light and it meant something, because when Dad's in my ear talking jokes, I'm kind of going, oh, hang on a minute, is it supposed to be this funny? And that's why I say to people with respect, because I have a lot of respect for the dead, and I am privileged to bring them through, but I tell you what, that those two particular colours of the flowers that I mentioned before, they meant something. Is there a colour code in your family or something that those colours were for? Because he seems to be pinpointing those coloured flowers again, those two particular colours. Are they maybe? I don't know, I'm psychic, but were they from your own garden? And were they his? Were they his plants? Because he's directing me to how the beauty that they bestowed and the beauty of the energy that was with them when they were placed. Because he's come back to that. And look, I know your mum struggles, and by saying, why did you leave me? He didn't leave her in particular. Like, that wasn't his goal in life, to say, do you know what, I'm going to pass over just to leave my wife. He passed because there was nothing else that could be done, and his body succumbed to it all. And in all seriousness, when our bodies are in that much pain and there's nothing more that can be done, I say to people, you don't want to see your loved one hurt and hurt and hurt and struggle and hurt and be so angry with all that pain that they lose themselves. It's actually kind. The spirit world is actually kind when they go, do you know what, if nothing else can be done and the organs are failing, we will transition you, we will protect you, we will make sure you're okay. Because there'd be nothing worse than watch a loved one struggle with that amount of pain. And that's, if you can pass that to mum, because it's not about him wanting to leave her. He would feel the same if she went. He would be devastated because they were a brilliant couple together, and they brought one another so much joy and so much happiness, and he would struggle if she went. But it was the reverse. Like, he's departed. But yeah, he keeps saying, come to me and make me laugh. Come to me and show me joy. Because when he sees joy, then he feels better, because he can't come back to this realm. So continually seeing his loved one, like, in your mum, being so upset, that hurts him. But only mum can, I always tell people there's no time limit for grief. Everybody's different. And mum will smooth that out when she realizes that he didn't leave her, and she would not have wanted to see him suffer any longer, and I wish you both the very much of love, very, very much love to you and your mum. But at the end of the day, he's okay. He's with other family members, and this Joker business, there's also part of that, the Joker thing with the a deck of cards. So I don't know if he was a card player as such, but he's showing me this deck of cards and smiling and said, yes, I know I'm the Joker, but I've also got the Joker. So that means that he's obviously playing cards with other people. And you know what? That melts my heart, knowing that he's okay. And please, if you can have a chat to your mum, but also to, the blooms that you put on recently, they were divine, whatever they were. He's saying the word divine. The energy from them, brought him love. So there's something about those flowers that brought him extra love. Okay, and I'll leave that there. Okay, I've got Christy Lee. Christy Lee. Margaret, no problem at all. Hi, Eileen. Thank you for joining. If anyone wants a guaranteed reading, it's donate $15 in my PayPal. It's running across the bottom of the screen. If anyone wants to book in for a private reading, they can contact me via my Facebook page, my Mystique Facebook page, or they can go on my website, or of course inbox me and let me know. So Christy Lee, if you can pop your question up, that would be fantastic. Christy Lee, do you have a particular question? I know you said something in general about a passed over loved one, but if you have a particular question, that would be awesome. I feel actually you've got a mum or a, before I even go anywhere, before you even say anything, I think I've got mum or grandma. Feels more like grandma, actually. Christy Lee, I've seen the name that you've popped up, and I just want to ask you, because I don't know if this is him or not. It's not making himself fully known at this point, but I do have a male here, because I feel it's quite because I feel it's quite personal. I want to say to you, was it quick and not really health related as such, if that makes sense? Christy, if you can let me know that, because if that's not him, I want to move him out of the way for Jared to come through. Thank you. Thank you. Now you know what I meant by it wasn't health related. Thank you for acknowledging that. And so, yeah, sometimes it's tough to say that, because this is a live feed, and and if anyone is struggling with mental health, please get in contact with me. The other side of my business is counseling, but there's always lifeline as well. Now, Christina, I want to say with Jared, and God rest his soul, there was a lot going on. A lot. I seem to be shown like a mind that has just got. If I wanted to say like train tracks with 15 trains on a track that should only have one or two, that's what I've got going on in my head. It's just like there was so much going on in his mind. He really couldn't siphon and put how can I say this, put different issues or problems all separately. It seems like he was overwhelmed with so many things. Okay. And I want to actually say that there was things that went on when he was younger as well, and I don't think they were ever resolved. I don't think that people took him seriously with that, and therefore he lived under this cloud of judgment. What is the other word? What is he trying to say? Mocking judgment, and this non-belief thing. Has an issue with being believed, and I think that stemmed from his younger years. But I think also too, he's just taking me somewhere. Am I going? Do you have something of his? I won't necessarily say it's a piece of jewelry, but I am being shown like a small box. I don't know if you've got something in there of his. That seems to. He was a deep and thoughtful person. He struggled with an accident he had 4 years ago. He became incomplete. Thank you. Yep. Yeah. That explains. See, Spirit doesn't show me that he became a paraplegic as such, but when I got all the train tracks, like the train track with all the trains and all this confusion, there was so much going on in here. What you're saying now makes sense. There was probably at the time what if this, or what if I hadn't have had that accident? I could have done this. I could have been this. I could have sheltered. I could have done all these things. So I think that there's a lot of I won't say there was a lot of guilt, but there was a lot of unanswered questions in his mind, and I don't think that he ever got the answers or never got the satisfaction to ease that pain. Do you know what I mean? But I do feel that you got something from his. Yes, I thought you had. Do you? Do you keep, like the box that he showed me? Do you keep it in that box? I mean, because I know that you'd be so frightened in losing it. Because it is a piece of, I mean, I said I didn't want to say a piece of jewelry because everyone says, oh, that is so generic. But, you know, often it is a piece of jewelry, but I got shown a box as if, you know, you're putting it away for safekeeping. If it is in the box and if it is in a drawer, can you possibly, I mean, because I know, like I when you lose someone that's so close to you and you have something of theirs, you really don't ever want to lose it, because that would be the most painful thing ever. You know, and okay, you do wear it every day. Okay. I'm kind of glad that you're scared about losing it, but you wear it every day. That means that it's really close to your heart. Oh, I've got no internet connection, really. But yeah, so when you take it off, because he keeps coming back to this box, when you take it off, do you put it in something in particular that seems to be then closed away rather than a clear box? Because he's starting to get a bit pedantic about this box. Or is there something else that you have a box of? Just a hook in the shower? No. Okay. I don't know why he keeps referring to a box then. I don't know whether you can maybe think about that. Maybe you have a box in your cupboard somewhere where there's some old photos, there's something else of his, there's some old writings of such. I believe he was a good communicator. Whether he wrote, okay, so I'm now being pointed to music. Did he write music? Did he write lyrics for a song or something? There's just, there's just something. I keep a pendulum that I used to talk to him in a box. No, maybe. Otherwise, his sister has given me more things in a couple of weeks. Okay. Just when she gives over anything more, don't scramble through it as if to say, I've got to find this particular thing that Mystique said. But when you gently go through some stuff, I believe that there's a certain box that is just going to, he loves singing, but only to himself. Well, he's not just singing to himself, like, because I'm getting in my ear, but it was more about writing as well as building out a tune as such, but because it seems to be that not that he thought that he was, you know, better than some of the big songwriters, but it was almost like I have a tune in my head maybe for another song and he was maybe changing the words, maybe he was singing the wrong words. I mean, I don't know, he just pointed me in that direction. I kind of went, oh, this is really cool. But yeah, but the writing is just like he was writing a book. There you go. See, spirit never lets me down. God love you. You know, look, I mean, I know I'm smiling, and I hope that nobody ever takes offense to that, because I know that people are sad when they've lost their loved ones. But when spirit comes through and they're smiling, it's almost like he's smiling to say, yes, she's getting my messages, and that makes him happy. And if he's using me as a channeler, God love him. But, you know, and you're obviously meant to be here tonight. And I think things like this is just so wonderful in spirit world. You know, I've said it before, like I certainly don't have an ego, but I'm so blessed that spirit just comes through with the most beautiful things. And when I open myself up to spirit, when I can bring you things that, you know, that are only meant for you and only you know about it, this is the most unique gift. You know, and as I said, I've been doing this since I was 3 and I'm now 60, and I don't get surprised. And don't take that the wrong way, I don't get surprised, but my heart sings when I get something that, you know, I had to say so gentle in the beginning about how he passed, to enable you to, you know, to be, you know, to just to have, just to have that, you not me, but you personally, to have the validation that he's around and he's got messages for you. And I believe you shared a pretty unique love, from what he's saying, because he keeps tapping his heart, as if to say, she's in my heart. And I know he's in your heart. And look, he's never going to leave you. I know he's not in this realm anymore, but when you either meditate or when you're sitting, I believe you said, okay, getting personal now. I believe at times you sit on the end of your bed on the, how am I facing? I think you sleep on the right side of the bed. I don't know what the right side would be for when the bed's positioned, so I don't know why I said right side, but anyway, I'm gonna go with it. The right hand side of the bed, I think you sleep on that side, but I believe that you sit on the end of that bed, and I believe you either say prayers to him, you speak to him, I think you're also hoping to hear him. I want to say to you, please keep trying that. Like, don't ever give up on that, because when we do that, you're igniting your own intuition, right? And when you ignite your own intuition and you really believe it and understand it, and when you're in that moment, you will hear something. But he's with you. He's with you so often, and as I said, it makes me proud. I sit and face the window on my bed and talk to him. When you're sitting on that bed, can you just clarify the right hand side? Like, why did he say the right hand side? I don't know which way your bed sits in your room, but you're saying you sit and face the window. If you're not sitting on the right hand side of the bed, then can you tell me what is on the right hand side of you when you're sitting there talking to him? Because he seemed to let me know that was of great significance. So, it's quite beautiful. That kind of just proves that he's there all the time, Rob. He so hears you. He so hears you. Oh, that's amazing. If I'm laying in the bed, it's on the right side. Well, there you go. Thank you, Jared. Chrissy Lee, thank you for trusting me to bring him through, because sometimes it's hard for people to hear, especially when they've unfortunately taken their life. It's hard for you to hear, but thank you for trusting in me to bring Jared through. He's a very beautiful soul, and I do get emotional when I bring such wonderful things through. It does touch my heart as well. I know you do, sweetheart, and he's with you. He's with you, and bless you so much. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Christy, if ever you want to connect with me on a deeper level, please always reach out, and we can sort that out. Now I have Jackie. I have Jackie, and then I have Dequa Parker. I always love that. Dequa. That's how I pronounce it anyway, because I love it. Jackie, if you can give me your question, that would be amazing. Sterling, are you still here? Have I got any lurkers in the background too? Michael, are you there? Michael says hello every so often, but he just sits in the background and waits. Michael's paid me a huge compliment. Michael DeMarco, for anyone who knows. Oh, yes. Michael Foley, I'm glad you're still here, but I wasn't quite referring to you on this one. But if you've said it too, that's fantastic. Well, actually, I have got one for you too, Michael Foley. Michael DeMarco paid me a huge compliment recently when he said he I'm going to still say something to you, Michael. Been here the whole time. Good for you. but Michael DeMarco, who is another, so Michael Foley, who is on screen now, he's on Psychic TV as the Psychic Gamer, and Michael DeMarco is also on Psychic TV. So these guys are both on there now, and I've been on Psychic TV for nearly 8 years now. And Michael DeMarco told me a few weeks ago that back in the day, he and one of his friends used to sit up and watch Psychic TV, and he said to his friend, "I love Mystique. I'm going to be like Mystique one day." And his friend laughed at him and said, "There's no way you're going to be like her." And he said to me, apparently for who I am and what I did, he just knew that was his path. And apparently I did some readings for him back then, and they were all, came to fruition and whatnot. And he said he just has the highest amount of respect for me. And by watching me, he said he gained, some insight as to the world of it, although, he has his own natural gifts. And I look, when you get that from other colleagues, I think it's really, really special. And Michael Foley, you're the same. Michael and I did a live on Psychic TV with Harry T a little while ago, and when Michael was being introduced, he actually said that he had high respect for me, and he was surprised. I think it was a little concern that he was on with me, and I said, "Don't be silly, you're good at what you do as well." And again, I reiterate, when a colleague in the same business, or because we all have different qualities, and when a colleague can actually give you a compliment instead of stabbing you in the back, it is the highest form of respect, because people kind of think that it's all love and light, but trust me, there's people with big egos that will stab you in the back. And so it's weird. But as I said, like, both Michaels have paid me huge respect, and I thank them for it, and I just think they have lovely souls. So it was a bit sweet of me, wasn't it? But credit where credit's due. These guys are pretty cool. So anyway, moving on. Jackie, will I ever feel truly happy? Oh, hang on, Jackie. Michael just popped in with something. I'm just going to pop that up. True. Already felt my fair share of that lately, sadly. Oh, but we love you so much and have nothing but love and respect for you, both as a person. Oh, thank you. See, Michael, you just it's wonderful, and I'm sorry that you've had your fair share of crap. But like I said at the beginning of my, live, I used to do lives every Tuesday night, and then I was just so busy, and, had some crazy stuff going on, in my personal life as well as on my work, and it just got all too hectic, and I haven't done them for a while. And then when I was going to come back on them, I had all those technical dramas with all the bad weather we've had. So it's just been a bit of a roller coaster. So I'm really glad to be back tonight, and it will be regular from this point forward. Okay, Jackie, will I ever feel truly happy? Will things I'm going through right now get better? Jackie, my love, look, the first part I'm just going to leave alone for a moment, because I myself, as a psychic or even just as a human being, cannot make anybody happy. We all have to, and that's, I say it with the greatest respect, because we all have to find our happiness. Some people say to me, "Oh, you live alone, you work alone, you do everything on your own. Isn't that lonely?" Sure, at times it is, but I don't allow that to overtake me, because I know if I do, I could fall in a heap. I'm okay with my own company, and plus I've got, lots to do. But at the end of the day, if we have the right people with us, we will feel, will I say the word, will we feel loved? Yes, we'll feel loved. But, oh, sorry, this is a weird message that come up. But nobody can make us happy. Do you know what I mean? Because it's up to us to kind of create our own. I don't like I won't say the word destiny as such, but it's up to us to create our own space that we're comfortable in. I don't like the saying of live each day like it's your last, because That's a good affirmation, but at the end of the day, we don't ask for certain things to happen to us. And if you've had a bad day and you can't live the day to its fullest, then that you're kind of putting pressure on yourself, if you know what I mean. So the happiness part I'm going to put aside just for the moment, because for the one of those reasons that I can't make you happy. I can give you tips and tricks and all that sort of thing to help you, how do I say, pull apart the issues that are making you unhappy. But at the end of the day, the happiness part is kind of in your control, yeah? And as I said, I say that with the greatest respect. And what you're going through right now is a like a roller coaster ride, and there's a huge amount of emotions, because I want to say that there's stuff from not necessarily childhood, because Spirit's not taking me to young childhood as such, but kind of teenage years pushing into the 20s. Is there some drama there? Negativity, I want to say, rather than drama. Yes, there is. Have you hung on to that? Yes, you have, because I don't think you knew what to do with it at the time. And Spirit seems to like the number 23. So I don't know what the significance of 23 is. 2 and 3 are 5, the month of May. If I looked at numerology, but no. Oh, okay. Spirit is showing me now both. So 23 as a date of something, and then the month of May. But I don't think it's the 23rd of May as such. Okay. So yeah, someone just popped in and said the key to happiness is loving yourself as who we are. And look, word, yeah, I totally agree. And sometimes it's difficult when we're going through some dramas, but at the end of the day, when we know who we are and we trust who we are ourselves, and we, and I always say we value ourselves. If something doesn't feel right, move it on out. Or if somebody's energy doesn't feel right in your company, move them on out. Nobody pays your bills but yourself. And that's just what you have to do. It's not being cold, but it's really you're protecting your own energy as such. But I want to come back to what Spirit said with the number 23 and the month of May. There seems to be something around those two, those, but they're not together. It's not the 23rd of May. The 23 is different to May. So that's something very different. But yeah, so if you think back to when you were 23, I actually do want to go to that number, because Spirit is this is about the 10th time they put it in front of my face. So I don't believe it's a date anymore. I think it's an age, because they put it to me too many times, and it's just getting closer and closer, which I believe has to do with you personally. So when you were 23, I believe that there was some sort of trauma. Was it resolved? Possibly 95% resolved, but I think you're still carrying something that's deep down in the root of your gut, which I think now is kind of triggering things, triggering memories, triggering certain things that may be happening in today's world that remind you of back in that day. That's where Spirit seems to be taking me. So I kind of wait to see what you say about that. Blaine, I've got yours. I've got somebody. I've got Dikwa after Jackie, and then I've got yourself. Jackie, can you jump in and let me know about the the age of 23, as well as the month of May, if they are significant at all to maybe some of the hurt or the difficult times we're going through now? I can think of something around my age of 23. Okay. Whatever that is, whatever that is. I mean, I have a healing program. I have a tattoo on the inside of my arm. It says acknowledge, accept, release. And the quick guts of that is the acknowledging is we can't change the past. We really can't. So if you just acknowledge the past as it is, because you actually can't change it, then you're able to just sort of go, do you know what, that's it, I can't change it. But you need to embody those sort of words. And the acceptance is that you look at your life and kind of go, do you know what, I feel so guilty for blah happening. In your case, blah happening when I'm 23. Then look at actually what happened. If you actually played no part in that happening, then why are you carrying the guilt? It's like, no, if you played no part in it, you need to release it, because you've been carrying the guilt for it for so long, because your mind didn't know obviously what to do with it in the first instance. But it's almost like, well, hey, if I played no part in it, why am I guilty? People have said and done things that make you feel guilty, but now as a like a grown adult, now you can kind of push it along and kind of go, do you know what? It's time to come back to the roots of you. It's time to actually be you. You can't change that past. But what you can do, what you have control of, is not allowing that guilt to rule your life, because there's nothing for you to be guilty of. But as I said, people have said and made you felt guilty. People have said things to make you feel guilty. And unfortunately, you've absorbed that guilt, and you really do sit there and go, it's my fault. I'm the common denominator. So it just must be my fault. It's actually not. It's actually not. Okay. It was, it's time for you to, I don't like to say it's time for you to own it, because you already do own it. But Spirit asked me to just say that for some unknown reason. Anyway, I don't know what that is, because you already do own it, because you're going through the emotions of it. Okay. Things will get a whole lot better if you just start working on little things at a time. Because when you're trying to resolve or sort out the entirety together, it gets too overwhelming. And when it gets overwhelming, then of course our thoughts get confused, and then negativity, jumps in, and then, we go on a roller coaster of emotions again. So if you can just, even at nighttime, if you can just bullet point some things down that are really troubling you, and then the next day, like, look at what you've written down and kind of go, oh, okay, I'll work on that one today. And that's what you do. Yeah, and then it's one step at a time from that point forward, and things will change. Like, as I said, Christmas seems to be the thing, because you're like, by Christmas, you'll really want to celebrate. And it's not just the celebration of Christmas, it'll be the celebration of you coming back to being you, because I think you've lost yourself. I think there's parts of you that when you get up every day, it's like, well, why am I here? Like, what am I getting up for? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do today type thing. But yeah, that's where I'm at, trying to figure out too much all at once. Well, that's where you stop, Jackie, because none of us can sort out 10 things that are going on in our head at one time, because it will get confused. Okay. And then emotion gets in it, and then negativity gets in it, and then we blow it out bigger than Ben-Hur. Okay. So, the old saying of, one step at a time comes with this, with, one walking step at a time, one thought process at a time. Because whatever 10 issues are, they seem like a mountain. But when we siphon away and we get one issue at a time, it's so much easier to deal with, and so much easier to heal and move on from that. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Bigger than Ben-Hur. Oh, I know. But that's what it's like when there's too much going on. The mountain just grows, and the problems haven't changed. But the mountains grow so much because you're thinking of it all at once. So the next day you feel so washed out because you think the problems are so much worse, but they haven't actually changed. The subconscious doesn't go to sleep at night. So the subconscious rolls with that negativity all night and makes it bigger. And there's just nothing that's actually making it bigger apart from your own mind. But anyway. All right. Dikwa, I've got you, if you can send me your question, and then I've Tony Chandler, if you can send me your question, and then I have Blaine after that. So I have 3 to do. And Michael Foley, just because you said something really nice, I'm going to address yours at the end of it if you're still here. Okay. Okay. Dick, but darling, you still here? What did I just see? Okay. Jackie, please know that, Jackie, you know what the other side of my business is. So if you need a hand, let's have a session, and maybe pull some of that apart. Oh no, sorry, you started going somewhere, didn't you? No, Michael, no, it's all good. I just have a thing that the people that have paid, I've got to do first. I mean, you do lives, you know that. So while I've still got paid ones to do, then I will look at it later if that's okay. I would like to know what Spirit has for me, either my knee issues or in the romance department, whatever whatever they are, whatever they have. I'm happy to hear. Knees and romance. I could put that together, and come up with a whole new meaning of knees and romance. Oh, I hope any male watchers don't take that the wrong way, because I know they would have a field day with that sort of comment. But yeah, let's make knees and romance a thing. Kidding. But yeah. So what is Spirit going to have for you? Have you actually had your left knee looked at? Have you had like a scan or something on your left knee? I'm being directed to the left. I'm glad you. Well, maybe it was unintentional, but Spirit got a giggle out of it, as did I, because that's why I said it. But yeah. Okay, I'm going to the left-hand side, left knee. Have you had an X-ray, a CT scan, something? Because there's just a whole lot of something going on there. Okay, yes, an ultrasound. Yes, it's the left. Okay. I'm not a doctor. I might have helped Lisa Kasha get her hip fixed when she was getting the wrong diagnosis. However, I don't know what the results are of this ultrasound. I know there's a concern factor, and I don't know whether they've talked to you about surgery or waiting for something. I don't know if they're waiting. Is it waiting for something to move on its own before you have surgery? What could that be? GP said arthritis, but no, it's not. No, and look, they could look. In all honesty, there could be a bit of arthritis that might be grinding on something. But I just heard from Spirit saying that are they. Well, that doesn't make sense. And if the GP is thinking that, then he's not going to do not much about it, because what I heard was that they're thinking of waiting before the talk of surgery. Now, if you haven't been told that, I'm now saying please get a second opinion. Okay, thank you. Your GP brushed you off. Okay, get a second opinion, because I see that there's something in there. As I said, arthritis to me doesn't sound like the main issue. I think there's arthritis, behind possibly, and under what I'm being shown, like the kneecap as such. But it's not that. It's not that nerve on that side. Okay, under the knee. Okay, I'm not a doctor. Under the kneecap, there is something grinding on another bone, where you're inflaming some of the air pocket to the right of that, which then, of course, to the medical eye looks like arthritis because of the inflammatory mode on it. But it's only inflamed because something under the kneecap is grinding on another bone. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's a lot more than arthritis. as I said, I think the pocket to the right of it is causing the area to be inflamed, and that's what they're looking at as the arthritis. But yeah, so if you've had an ultrasound, I would say go to a different doctor and ask for a CT. The CT will show up a little bit more because the CT will actually see underneath that kneecap. An ultrasound will, go around the sides and whatever, but I think it's been missed. I really think it's been missed. And if you can see your way through into getting a CT scan, then I would get that done. And then they would go from there. Do I see surgery straight away? No, I don't. But I think it leads to the question of if you want to if you leave it, the result, like I'm saying, the results from the CT scan, if you leave it, it could get worse and the pain gets worse. And then, of course, there's a drama. Then, or you can often and possibly have some surgery. But I do think that that's where you need to go. Yes, my gut is saying the same thing. There is inflammation. It's very painful. I think there's something else going on. Look, I believe it because Spirit keep directing me under that kneecap. Okay. Well, we're on the same boat then, my love. We really are on the same boat. And as I said, like, I'm not a doctor, but, Spirit with this precise with Lisa, and I think hers is now about 1.5 years old. She went elsewhere and asked someone to really listen to her because she'd got, the advice from myself. And then she ended up having surgery, and then, and that part was fine. But, and I'm not saying that that's, that I'm a master at that now, but, when Spirit shows me all these things, I take it very, very seriously. As I said, like, I'm not going to sit here and proclaim I'm a doctor, but, when they're so specific about going directly under that kneecap, and they already took, in the beginning, took me to that left-hand side. So there's something really going on there. Yeah, absolutely. It was, and, and it's all good. But CT will just show more than an ultrasound. The ultrasound is good for first up, but yeah, go somewhere else, get a second opinion, and deal with it accordingly. Because if it's painful, every time it's sort of like you're walking and it's not being dealt with and all the rest of it, you're kind of inflaming more than meets the eye, if that makes sense. So I know you can't always rest it. I know you can't always pop it up, but you need to get onto that as soon as you can, because I don't want you to be in pain for any longer than you should be. Yeah. So that's the way I want you to go with there. As for that's the knee. As for romance, let's get the I shouldn't be laughing. I agree with the constant walking causes pain. Yeah, and it does. So, we'll sort that out, because the quicker you move on that, the quicker the answers will come. Okay. No. Please don't say you're giving up on the romance thing. And you know why I say that? When things are going wrong in our lives, we always give up on the thing that, we really want the most. And you know me, I say everything with the greatest respect. But when we yearn for something so much and it's not happening, some of our comments to the universe, some of our manifestations, some of that starts to sound a little bit desperate. But all you have to do is journal the right things. Like, don't say things like, oh, universe, please bring me love. Oh, you probably won't because I always ask for it, never get it. You're adding the negativity into it. If you can just constantly stay on the same wavelength and ask for things in particular, even if you have to describe, even if you have to, I think I've been friend zoned. Well, do you know what? If you think that's what the universe is going to give you, put all that out of your mind. Get your mind to start from scratch. Manifest what you want. And even if you have to specify the height, the particular looks, the smoking, non-smoking, the perfect smile, the big blue eye, like whatever. I mean, I know that all sounds very romantic and a bit, bit too full on in the mills and booms area. However, if we manifest and say to the universe, please bring me a partner. I'm desperately in need of being loved or feeling loved, and I want a partner. They're just going to throw you anybody because you're not valuing yourself to ask for really what you want. When people manifest a job, if someone wants to be a nurse, they're not going to sit there and go, oh, please get me a job. I don't care if it's, stacking shelves, even though I want to be a nurse. They will ask to become a nurse. And you've got to say the same thing, as much as it sounds repetitive. Write the same things in your journal or when you meditate over and over again. It's when you add a negative comment by saying, oh, I'm not going to, even if you think the process, oh, I'm not going to bother with this tonight because the universe is not going to give it to me, you're telling then the universe that they're wrong or they're bad and that you're not going to do it anymore. Then they give up. The universe gives up just like you do. So all that's got to stop, For any of you guys that saw me on Here's We Have a Problem, I think it's about 2 years ago now, I did a segment. The story was very real, and it was about me having a younger lover, and we still know one another, Anyway, we've known one another 23 years, but the secret, well, not the secret message, the message behind that whole thing, as much as everybody laughed about, having sex with a younger lover, whatever, it was about sort of saying you can be any age and any size and still have fun in life. And, it's something about, you remember, right? Right. But that was the message behind it. Like, I'm 60 now, 61 actually. So, and he's like 15 years younger. And I say this quite often, age doesn't matter if the connection's right. Right? When I first met him, I'm going to be brutally honest here. I hope he's not watching in the background. If he is, tough luck. When I first met him, I thought he was a piece of crap. I thought he was arrogant. I thought he was a womanizer. And, here we are 23 years later. We still speak to one another every second day. We still have hot romantic nights or hot sexual nights, whatever you want to call it. We still go out and have fun. But it's sure, would I like someone full time? Or maybe they couldn't handle me full time. But anyway, beside the point. But at the end of the day, the age doesn't matter. And if the connection's right, it's right. But if you sit there and manifest and just say, I just want anyone to come into my life, you will get, you'll just get anybody. The universe will just throw you anybody, just to kind of shut you up because you're not asking for anything specific. And even tonight, if I can take tonight and any of my lives as an example, when I say, if you want to, like, an answer from spirit, like, please ask a specific question, and spirit will come through with, and I mean, it might come through with, more stuff, but it will answer the question. Do you know what I mean? So put the right things back at. Please don't give up. Like, seriously, you are such a beautiful soul. Do not give up. Get your knees sorted so you can dance them off the dance floor, so to speak. And have that knee romance connection, whatever the case may be, my love. You're like, there is someone there for you. Like, seriously. Just, I hope that friend of mine is not watching. They're going to kill me if they see this. Well, they won't kill me, but, because then they'll miss out on being in my company. But anyway, enough of that rubbish. Well, it's not rubbish. But you know what I mean? It's when you're connected with somebody and you're on the same wavelength and, it feels right and all the rest of it, it is just such a nicer area to be. Like, as I said, when you're manifesting, don't sound like you're desperate in asking. Like, just freely ask, freely journal it and all the rest of it, and don't add in the, oh, but this and oh, but that, because you don't look after me, because then you're kind of criticizing the universe at the same time. Does that make sense? And yeah, things will just brighten up. Things will really just brighten up. I promise you. Like, I'm going to put the word out there. I guarantee you it will brighten up. So, it's not often I say I guarantee it, but you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there. So I have Tony. Tony, if you're still around, I need your question. Oh, Ben, hello. Hello, my love. Fancy you dropping in on my live. Good on you. I've got a few PTV lovers tonight. Well done. Well done. I am, sweetheart. I hope you are well too. Hello, Holly. Okay. Now, after Tony, I have Blaine, and then I have Tracy McKenzie. Okay, I'm making a big career change and heading to the mines, so not sleeping well as I'm a bit anxious. Will this settle down? As I am so looking forward to starting the next chapter of my journey. Oh my God, you say the right words, Dikwa. Have a look at some of these words. The next chapter, the journey. Like, these are the words that I love. Going to my time. God, I'm surprised you haven't had this job before, Tony, because you're going to blitz this. I know being anxious is always not a good thing because, yes, it'll affect your sleeping. Sorry, I don't normally have a drink of anything while I do these lives, but because there was a couple of spirits who attacked my throat, does anyone mind if I take a sip of my tea? It's cold anyway. How funny. I'm using my own cup. How funny. Anyway, for those that are just jumping on with a couple of questions now, a guaranteed reading, $15 into my PayPal will guarantee your reading. And so we'll just continue on. So, Tony, yeah, I'm surprised you haven't gone down this path before, because it is a path that, how can I say, that you're a woman like me, that you say exactly what you mean. You don't deliberately tread on people's toes, but because you're upfront and honest, some people don't like that, and some people find that intimidating. And therefore, instead of just sort of saying, "Oh, I find you intimidating," they will just talk about you behind your back, which some people just do. Because you're, what I call it is realism. So when you're real in this world at whatever you do, whether it's the way you talk, the way you act, even if, I'm a bigger woman, but when I walk into a room, I have confidence because I'm confident in who I am. I don't need someone to tell me that I look good. I don't need someone to tell me I look bad. I don't need someone to sort of kiss my backside as I walk past. I don't need any of that stuff, because I'm confident in the person that I am. And that's what shines through with majority of every single thing that you do. So you're a woman that kind of is like, well, I'll say what say what I speak. If I offend someone, if someone tells me I've offended them, I'll apologize, but then I'll explain what I mean. Do you know what I mean? So you're that type of woman. And you being in the mines, it's almost like, how can I say it? It's a really tough job for a woman, because it's like a male orientated industry, but there's more women going into it now, which I think is like really, really exciting, because women need to be recognized as equals. And if I offend any male that's on here by saying that, tough luck, because women really do need to be looked upon as equals, because we are equal. If a male will say a female can't do something, a female can actually say back to a male, well, do you know what? You can't do this either, so we're on par. Do you know what I mean? So it's not a competition. But women have just as much right to conquer or to be happy in a male dominating arena. Do you know what I mean? I got asked recently to, I don't know how to do it, but I got asked recently by the mayor in the Northern Beaches. Up in the Northern Beaches, people are watching. Hey, look out. Because the mayor of the Northern Beaches asked me if I would consider running as an independent. And I kind of went, really? Why? And as he said, you're the voice of reason. You're the voice of realism. What you say is what you get, and who you are is what you get. I practice what I preach, all that sort of stuff, right? And it's because I'm not afraid to. Okay. I've been kicked down. I've almost died a few times through the hands of other, someone else. And I know I'm meant to be here. I'm here for a reason. And that reason was always to build Mystique and to offshoot it to other areas that I've specialized in. because as a young child that was almost killed a few times, and then I was almost killed a couple of times in my adulthood, that was through people not understanding. Like as a child, it was through people not, and which was my family, not understanding spirit world, and they actually thought I was possessed by the devil, and the only way you get rid of the devil is to burn them. And it was pretty horrific. And then later in life I was in a domestic violence relationship, and I'm a very big advocate for domestic violence. And I was stabbed a few times. I have numerous broken bones. I could go. The story just goes on and on, right? Which is why, I'm writing all this in a book too. It's not a book about my memoirs. It's a book on when certain things happen in our life. I will also add a chapter after each. There'll be a chapter after each chapter of a healing process if anyone has gone through similar or same. Do you know what I mean? And when we look at ourselves then as an equal to a male, we feel more confident. And I just think You with the Minds is going to be spectacular. It's going to be hard work, but I know you cut out for it because you call a spade and you're not frightened to. And, you'll stand beside any male and think that you're an equal, and because you are. And, I want you to feel empowered to be doing this rather than anxious, because to me, it's a very positive step. An extremely positive step. Yeah. A few people are writing here. Yeah, a female can do anything a male can do. Thank you, Chantel, was saying I'm such an inspiration. I don't say these things to float my own boat. I say them for reasons that other people can. When other people think that they can't get through something, they can. They can. You've just got to put your mind to certain things. I do road construction, single mama. Yeah, well done to you. I just sent Renee. I've got a couple of people in front of you, but thank you. I will get to you. I've always been like that, and I try to get in before, but got breast cancer. Yep. Now, so that's absolutely. And you know what? You conquered that. The feeling that you would have had. I don't know whether they did it, where the hospital you were, the feeling that you have when you're allowed to ring the bell because you get a clear, you get the clearance that you're cancer free. That's a moment in time. And Tony, if I can direct you to that song, because Spirit told me to say that for a reason, and please, anyone else that's here tonight that is struggling with absolutely anything, or who has self-esteem issues, self-confidence, relationship issues, work issues, anything, anywhere, even if you just want to remember a loved one, if you can look up that song, One Moment in Time, but sung by, not the one that's sung by, God, it's going to go from my mind now. It's a beautiful version of it. Sorry, bear with me while I look it up. I think I finally did it. Okay. I've had people even play this at a funeral because it reminds you of so much, and the power in it. When I did a women's domestic violence summit, I had this playing, and all the women who felt bad or felt that they weren't good enough, the song in here, the words in this song, Karen, I know it was sung by Whitney Houston, but the version that's done by Dana Winner, DANA WINNER, Dana Winner, her version is astounding, absolutely astounding, and it will take you to places where you'll just kind of go, oh my God, you'll have those sort of moments. And if you listen to it, I can probably guarantee all of you that you'll cry. Because it's just so, it really is just an extraordinary song, and the words are so powerful, and every significant, Margarita, if you're still here, even the passing of your dad, Margarita, it's a moment in time that you don't get back in that sense, but it's a moment in time that was so significant, and turn it into an empowering moment rather than anything else, because it is most things in life we don't get credit for. And Tony, like, with you going in the mines, there'll be men that will probably, probably try and, well, not maybe now because they've been overhauled, but, some men will still probably be sarcastic and carry on. It's a moment in time when you make these decisions. And that's when Spirit told me to say it, I went, oh my God, that song. And if you just all listen to it, you will all get something out of it. And if you cry, so be it, because it's beautiful. But it will make you think of other things. And when they come to the surface, just allow them to. And then if they're still there, just even know that needs a bit of healing done on it, and then you can do some healing on certain things that may arise from it. But it's, Tony, I just see nothing but good for you there. Financial wise, it's going to, it's going to knock your socks off, so to speak. And different connections, but also too, there's going to be a lot of people that are on the same wavelength of you, and this is going to open up other doors for you as well. And I just see so much good coming from this. And if you can take away a little bit of that to help you dull the anxiety, because when you dull that, you will sleep a whole lot better. And I swear there is nothing for you to be anxious of, because I think you're going to knock your own socks off, because I know you wanted to do this earlier, as you said, and unfortunately breast cancer stopped you doing that. But at the end of the day, maybe you weren't quite ready for it either. Maybe that was the universe. I mean, I know it's a dumb thing when, the universe gives you that instead of, but I don't think you're quite ready. And now you are, because now you're ready to conquer something more. And now you're really there to do it for you, because this is where you're standing in your own ground now. And I just see nothing but the best for you. So I hope that helps you. Okay. I can't remember who I've got next. Sorry, bear with me for 2 seconds. I just want to check. I just have to check my PayPal to see where we're going with this. I've done. Done. Blaine, you're next, then Tracy McKenzie, then Renee. I think you've been struggling with weight and solving, so I'll definitely take time. Please do, Chantel. I think that the words, and look, some people listen to it twice and they get something different out of it straight away. But if it makes you really cry, don't listen to it again for another day. But it's just something. I always have I don't have it on speed dial as such, but I have it handy if something big is changing, or I'm struggling with to answer even my own question, I will just play it, because something with spirit is just Jacqueline, yes, it is still live. Something with spirit and your heart and your mindset just really changes with that song. It's just extraordinary. Okay, Blaine. Can the spirits tell me if the man I'm engaging in conversation with is someone I should invest more in, or if I should look elsewhere? My feelings are really, and it feels truly genuine, but I'm not so sure about this for me. Am I barking up the wrong tree? Also, is there a chance I will get a new job soon? Okay, Blaine. I always hate to be the bearer of bad news. I shouldn't say it like that. But I certainly don't want to get you led up the garden path either. So I'm going to say it as I hear it, which is, I don't think this person is 100% genuine. I think they're probably 50-50 in seeing, and again, with all due respects, in seeing what they can gain out of it. I don't think it's an actual joke to them, but I think that they're kind of, how do I say it, edging their bets, so to speak. And the more you're engaging, the more that's kind of they're feeling that you're getting more vulnerable, if that's the way of saying it. And therefore, when they feel like you've got to the edge of vulnerability, it's almost like then they'll pounce. And yeah, I feel like it's not the right thing for you. If you want to continue engaging, that's totally up to you. But I'm being directed to that it's not right. The person is not 100% honest. And I think if you threw them a few questions, they would find it difficult to answer, because some of the answers will not make sense. And therefore you'll start putting it all together. And in doing that, then you come to the realization. But, and you can try that, because then normally if you see that for yourself, then your own mind kind of goes, well, there it is, I can see it. And maybe that makes it an easier decision for you to do. I'm sensing, I get cold with this one, because I'm even starting to shiver. I just get cold. I think that they're just waiting for your vulnerability to get further and further in. And, and then when you're, really vulnerable, that's kind of like, that's where they pounce. Okay, that's what your thoughts are saying. Yeah. And I wish I had better comments about it. But straight away, like Spirit was saying, no, it's not right. And I actually had my dad in my ear saying, oh, no, tell her to cut it off, because he gets quite brutal. And that's what he was saying in my ear. I was trying to bring it across a bit nicer than that. But also, too, I do find that when you, again, I'm saying, if you're willing to throw out some of those questions where you feel that the inconsistencies come in, please feel free to do it. I'm not the the tribal warrior here. But oh my God, someone's attacking my throat again. But at the same time, if you make the decision first and start pulling away, you'll also see that they'll throw something else to try and engage you. It's like the fish on the hook. You kind of bait it a bit and move it a bit, and then it, something else pounces. You'll see a difference there. The minute you start pulling away, you'll actually see that more so of a kind of a bit of a desperate nature to keep that vulnerability there, so they can make their pounce, because that's the chase, isn't it? That's the thrill of the chase, in getting a vulnerable person on the wing, so to speak. That's the control. And people, I can say it as, I can say it freely, because it is the truth. People have orgasms over this stuff. Like people get off on controlling and all the rest of it, because that gives them power. And when someone gets that power and feels that they've taken that power away from you, then that's orgasmic to them. So, I'm sorry that sounds crude, but that's exactly what it is. And yeah, people just kind of go, do you know what? They engage in that for that particular reason. And so I would kind of really seriously want you to look at that. At the end of the day, the minute you start pulling away and what I want to say, don't take it on board that it's your fault, because it's not. What you did was you engaged in someone that you thought was, pretty cool, right? So but that would have been the energy that would have been given off in the first instance, to attract your energy. And this is something that a control person does very well. It's what's the other word? A master manipulator, right? So it's kind of like their job. And if they can get people under their wing, that's what they do best. So you've got to treat that one as a bit of a job on their part. Certainly not on your part, because you've done nothing wrong to engage this sort of activity. You've just been yourself, and you're being taken advantage of. So that's what I see there. At the end of the day, when you walk away from that sort of thing, but I don't see anything. I had to be honest, I don't see anything for about your number 5 seems to be yours. So I don't see anything virtually happening with you that's overly exciting for about 5 months. But that's okay, because that gives you time to kind of, again, like that other lady I had to, where I said, work on a couple of things yourself, so your energy changes. There seems to be something else going on with you too. So I don't know whether that's maybe that you're not really happy in what you're doing, or you're not being able to express all your passions in your work role. Maybe look at that. Maybe look at not necessarily shifting it, but maybe look at engaging in something a little bit different that gives you and he feels like, okay. So therefore, didn't want you to really engage in such, wanted all the stuff his way. Yeah. It's not very nice when people do that. Like, it's pretty crappy. But there are people that do it. As I said, there are people that have orgasms about having this control. You know, it's the height of their day, so to speak. So yeah, just be very careful. But I want to come back to this. Whatever you're passionate about doing and that you can't quite do in the work scenario, please look at that. Please look and see if there's an offshoot that you can do, because while you've got like ideas and what there's something that you're passionate about, if you can't do that, then your work life will seem quite dull. So I want you to look at that as well, okay? But yeah. Whew. It's been a big night, hasn't it? Blaine, I hope that helps you. And yeah, I loved watching other readers shared you to my page. Okay. Thank you, Margaret. I've been feeling bored and stunned with what I'm doing now, but I'm happy to wait 5 months to get my shit together. See, I love people like that. You just say what you need to say, right? It's not offensive. You just say what you need to say because that's exactly how you're feeling, and then you feel confident in saying it. So well done to you, Blaine. My respect to you, love, and I think that there's a lot that's gone on there. Yeah. Okay, so I've got Tracy and then Renee. I think Tracy's just popped in. Blaine, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. If you ever want anything longer in depth, just get in contact with me. Anyone can go to my website that's running across the bottom to have a complete reading. Okay. Oh, Tracy, I think I've read for you before. Your picture is very familiar. I endured a lot of loss in the last 2 years. Ray, I hope you come through. The ending of a toxic relationship and changing of career, social worker to trainer. I'm looking forward to embracing the next chapter of my life. Am I on the right track? Tracy, have I read for you before? Geez, your face looks familiar. I don't know whether that's from that or I don't know. Your face is just very familiar. Anyway, that's all good. No, not before. Okay. Do you live around the Northern Beaches? As soon as I popped the question up, your face is just strikingly familiar. But that's okay. Maybe that's just spirit telling me that I know you from somewhere. It's all good. I've endured a lot in the last 2 years. Ending of a toxic. Oh man, I'm glad you ended that toxic relationship. Then that's a bonus. I know it's probably still cut to the core, but it's a bit of a bonus. I know you're from Port Stephens. Okay. Oh, I have no idea then. Maybe you look like someone I know. That's all. And that can always be a good thing. Toxic relationship, changing a career. That's a big move from social worker to trainer. But then you know what? I think prior to you becoming a social worker, you thought about the field of training anyway. And to be perfectly honest, I think back then you kind of thought you couldn't be the trainer. So you went and pardon me the way I say, but it's the way spirit tells me, you went the intelligent route before you went to knowing that you could do the physical. Does that make sense? Sorry, spirit kids taking my throat. I really don't normally drink through these lies, but I have to tonight. Sorry. I do believe you're on the right track. I believe it's been a tough transition though. I mean, spirit keeps saying to me that you've had endless nights on, reviewing what you've actually done, and I think you keep going over and saying to yourself, like, have I really done the right thing, and why did I make the change so dramatic, so to speak? But as I said, I get told that that you were thinking of the other before you went the intelligent way, and I think. I'm not saying the intelligent way was a safer way to go, but I think that you wanted to test the waters on that. And I know, because like the other side of my business is counseling, so I know that can get quite taxing on the brain when you don't know how to shut yourself off from internalizing everything that everyone tells you. Because when you internalize that, then it becomes really draining. Your energy is zapped all the time. You don't know sometimes how you get out of bed because you struggle, and you don't at first always actually put it together in taking on board everybody else's stuff. You just kind of think there's something wrong with you. So, but I think that you wanted to try the intelligent way first, because part of that also too comes from your heart, where it's like, no, I really want to help other people. And if I go down this route, then I'm helping everybody every single day. And that gave you joy. That gave you, I mean, it gave you some stress for sure, but it gave you some satisfaction in seeing and being able to see someone transition from maybe having trouble in life to, getting on in life in a good way. So I think that was good that you did that. So you have all that intelligence up here, but you also have all that life experience as well. So you will know for the rest of your life that you can help anybody anywhere. And then going the opposite side as a trainer, then you also got all the mentality and all the learnings of being to physically able to help someone. So now you've got the two realms of intellectually and mentally helping others, as well as the physical part of it as well. And that's really unique, and I take my hat off to you, because that's two very, very, very powerful arenas that you're now in control of, right? So that's congratulations to you, because that can be pretty tough to do, but well done. Which means that mental stuff and physical stuff, it also then highlights the way that spirit has come through, saying, no, this is a powerhouse. Okay, this is a powerhouse. Absolute powerhouse. And you know what? If you're not a physical trainer as such, where are we going, spirit? I don't know why I see running, but I don't believe it's connected to the trainer bit. So if I'm seeing, so are you a runner yourself, but you don't train other people to run, or to whatever? Are you a runner? Because spirit is showing me running, but I don't know whether it's actually connected, because they just jumped in with all this running, but it was only you running. It wasn't others running. I need to see others to sort of like get that through. Spirit, come on. Anyway, I'm just going to kind of put that to the side, because, I see you running, but I don't see others running with you, which means that you're not helping them physically. So why has spirit shown me one thing first, and then we're going to this? However, maybe I had too many spirits floating around here. So I just need to pause on that one for a second. With the social work side, I want to go the intellect side, because I'm now also being shown a lot of pen and paper, as well as are you in also to like a classroom, like a, is that where we're going with this? Is there a classroom scenario as such? And not you, it's not you going into a school. It's okay. It's you presenting. Does that make sense? This is spirit is just going crazy. Is that you? No running. I wonder what the running is then. Okay. Spirit definitely showed me running. I'm not going to dwell on that too much, but spirit showed me running. But the okay. I teach adult. Oh, okay. Okay. That makes sense with the presenting then, and the intellect of mental. That makes sense. Okay. So maybe the running part is another spirit for somebody else. And I had to be really honest there, because I had probably about 10 spirits in my head, and that's probably why I was flipping from here, there, and everywhere, because I was just hearing too much, and I was kind of trying to rattle it off all very quickly. But if you're an adult educator or such, that makes sense. So is there no, I just want to clear this up with the running part of it, because you're saying you don't physically run. Is there a lot of you in your head running like from here to there to organize things then? Otherwise that running is definitely for somebody else. Because as I said, I keep hearing it, but that's okay. But at the end of the day, like, you really are on the right path. Your nature, how can I say this? Your uniqueness with the intelligence and the nature you deliver, everybody listens to. So everybody keeps their eye out. Everybody keeps their ear out. Everybody is kind of, again, that's with again with writing books as well. It's the same sort of thing. Same sort of thing. You're a teacher in many ways. Is there something else that you set your mind on to do with this as well? Because there seems to be something forward from this. Seems to be something forward. Nathan, I don't do free. These are paid readings. If you want a guaranteed reading, the details are on the bottom of the screen. What a lovely compliment. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying. Sorry, Tracy, I'm just going to go up. You want to train overseas? Okay. I was seeing something extra and didn't know where it could be with it, right? I didn't know where it could go with what you're already doing. And that's why I got stuck. I kind of went, wow, Spirit just kind of, they're all jibber jabber, and then they just kind of went silent. And because when I saw you were going to go further, even my own mentality kind of went, well, hang on a minute, where else is there to go? But taking it overseas, I don't know if you've got programs up your sleeve, but if you've got programs, the programs will take you overseas. If you don't have programs, please write it, but please don't share it. I think there's one. I think there's a program that you actually haven't written yet that's coming up in your mind with certain things that are going on in today's society, writing a program about how you can engage and help others get through major things in today's society. There's just something around that as well. And as I said, I'm sure you've got plenty of programs, but there's another major program brewing in your mind. Please keep that one to yourself, but please continue to write it, tweak it, do what you can. That one on a broadcast level will take you overseas. But, I've said it out loud now with the word broadcast, but keep the guts of it to yourself. Family members, sure, you can share it with them, but keep that one to yourself. Write it, engage it, tweak it, and that will take you overseas for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Is there any romance for you? Not in the near future. I don't see a gentleman coming forward. The number 8 is coming forward though. So, but okay, we're in the 9th month. So, you won't be happy if I say that's another year away. That won't be happy. But at the end of the day, the days, the months go past so quickly. In all seriousness, for you to get this other program up and out and all the rest of it, and you to focus on you to do that. By doing that enables your energy to make a bigger shift again. Your energy then goes like from an orange to a red. It then, the energy that you give off, meaning is like, very warm energy, like a very attracting energy, and other people are going to come into your lives. But I keep seeing the number 8, so I don't think anything's going to happen till next year. To be, and I hope you don't get angry at that. But if I told you a lie, what's the point in that? Because that's just useless. I know some people do. They just, because they don't want to tell someone they've got to wait that long. But I don't see it till next year, my love. What I do see in that person is, how do I put it? He's not a military person as such, but he has, he's not anal about when to do things at the right time. But he's a little bit regimentated. But that's more in his work life. It's kind of like he has a work persona as well as he has a fun, engaging, like, out of work persona. So I see him in and whether he ends up being a Gemini, like, so be it. I don't really put people with star signs as such, but having those two personalities, I think, because he has to play this role as the astute person at work, but outside work he's a ball of fun, and that's what Spirit showed me there. So yeah, so. I think there's some exciting times, but as I said, it's not going to be till about August next year. But I'm actually quite happy with that, because I think there's some things with you as well that not necessarily need to change, but there's things that, like, some healing stuff that needs to go on, and just being, as I said, putting this other program together, focusing on you, getting that stuff overseas as well as yourself, and hey, then in my world, the world becomes your oyster. So I hope all that makes sense. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh my God. Yeah, quality is far better than quantity, I tell you. And I think people use that about anatomy on people's bodies, but yeah, quality is so much better than quantity. But anyway, okay. Renee, you're very welcome, Tracy. You're very welcome. Renee Dennis, you'll virtually be my last one, but I will get to Michael Foley after that. Surprised Michael's not asleep by now. God, anyone listening to me for, what be going, 2 hours and 20 minutes? Oh my God. Anyone listening to me for that long? Renee, do you have your question for me, please? That'd be great. Oh, you've all been really engaging tonight. It's been a wonderful night. So good to be back. Damn sure I haven't missed anybody. I just went through my PayPal. I haven't missed anybody. Karen, very relaxing, actually. Oh, I don't want to put anyone to sleep, but yeah. Anyway, sneak hint. Be doing podcasts soon. I'll create my own podcast. You know how on Psychic TV I had mystique moments? Well, that's probably, mystique moment will probably be. It'll probably be the name. Anyway, I bet. Jean, thank you. You've missed these nights. So much fun. Thank you. I've been feeling really lost and flat for quite a while now, so wondering if you get any general messages. Renee, I'm really sorry to hear that. I can concur that there is actually a lot of people that wow. There was somebody who asked for a free reading, and I explained that, what this was about. And this is what I got. Okay. Nathan, I'm sorry you feel that way. It's it's not, it's not deliberate. And if that's the way you feel, you're gone. My show, I can delete whatever I want, block. It's a shame that people feel that way, because we always talk about it's an energy exchange. 2 hours and 23 minutes I've been going for, and my readings aren't short. There's a lot of psychics who do short, sharp readings for the same amount of money, and it's not as in depth. And I pride myself on giving you exactly what Spirit gives me, and I've done it that way from day dot. And if someone doesn't like it, well, they can shove it where the sun don't shine. Some people, the sun shines out of their ass, but my show, don't need that sort of bullshit. Thank you, Lynn. Yes. That's the way it is. As soon as I put him up on the screen, I blocked him. As I said, don't need that sort of negativity at all. But yeah. Back to you, Renee. Sorry we were interrupted by that sort of person who's probably now going out and trashing me somewhere. It's funny when people... sorry again, Renee. It's funny when people say that it's all fake and that, like, we have years of so many avenues, free read, professional readings, like it's not something new that just popped up yesterday. Some people are sad. Yeah, well, he'd asked a couple of times, for a free reading, and I told him it was to pay, and then he got rude. So in hindsight, the way you look at that is somebody asked for a free reading, so somebody was looking for a reading, but the minute I said to guarantee a reading, to pay the $15, all of a sudden it was fake. So why did they want a reading in the first place? Because they were just fishing for free. And look, Facebook has plenty of, if you scroll overnight, like sometimes I'm awake in the middle of the night, you scroll overnight, there's plenty of people that are giving away free reads. It's generally turning over a card and all the rest of it. Are they real psychics? No. Are they fakes? Sure, there's plenty of fakes in this world. And, I pride myself in even the comment that's running on the bottom. I'm the only Australian psychic in 23 years that's been crowned a finalist in the Australian Small Business Champions, so hello. I've been doing it a very long time. So, hello. It's what it is. My favorite hashtags are real, raw, authentic. And there's a reason why I write that. Because that's what I am. Anyway, back to Renee. I was saying that I'm saddened that that you feel that way, and especially that you feel that way for it's been happening for a while. I do believe that I don't know how old you are, but I do believe something's gone on with you. Something has shifted in you. Your train of thought, your mindset. I want to say it exactly the way I hear it. It's almost like somebody has taken away your power. Somebody has removed something from you, and therefore, your energy level has gone stale. Whoever that person was who removed anything from you, sad that they've done that. However, you now have your own power, but you're feeling exhausted. You're feeling like you're wiped out. It's almost like I want to say that you have chronic fatigue, but I don't think you do. I think it's more of a mental torment that when someone has tried to take over your power and try to, I don't like the word controlling, but it is almost like somebody trying to do that to you, and someone took away you. And there's hurt there, there's pain. And when someone takes away part of, even your heart, so to speak, then I'm not saying that you've become bitter, but all that kindness, all that, that energy, bouncing around has kind of gone to a negative side. Do you know what I mean? So, and I say all that with the greatest respect, but you still want to do everything for everybody. But I think I think now that you're scared to do it in the fear of somebody's going to take you for a ride. So I don't know exactly what someone did to you to take away your power, but I feel that there's pain there. Okay, I feel that there's pain. Okay. Can you? I know this is a live, but can you own what I'm saying about that? Okay, you've just jumped in. Someone taking away your power. Please don't allow yourself to wallow in that, because as painful as it is, that other person has done you an injustice. that other person does not value who you are, which means you've got to forget that. You've got to forget that person. No one can, I was going to say no one can take away your power. Yes, they can. But when you continually allow that person to give them a voice by saying, oh, so-and-so did this or so-and-so said that, you're still giving them the power by utilizing their voice and allowing your thoughts to continue to go to that person. Does that make sense? And when you do that, you put the negative back into yourself, which is what is draining you. So having that person taking away your power, if I can get you to just, and I know it's painful, but if I can get you to just kind of, what does Dr. Phil say, those light bulb moments, and just kind of say, do you know what? He's just opened another arena for me. And that other arena is you taking care of you. It's you coming back to loving who you are. So your energy re-sparks. You get this rejuvenation that's like, oh my God, where did I get all this from? It's like swallowing a bottle of, vitamin B12 tablets. Do you know what I mean? It becomes, because you come back to owning it and going, do you know what? They can't take me away from me. Stop saying that person's name. Stop going over what they did. The fact is that they've done it, and they probably got you at a vulnerable point. But don't blame yourself for that. Don't feel guilty for that. Allow that to just go, do you know what? That is a lesson learned. I don't tell anyone that there's any failures in life, because there's not. They're lessons learned. And when you've learned a valuable lesson out of it, you then know that you look for signs when it starts to happen again, yeah? And that's probably the beauty of all of that. Because as painful as it is, when you learn that you're now alerted to other people's behavior when they want to act like that, you know instantly, and therefore you kind of kill that instantly, because you don't want that person in your life. And you don't have to have that person in your life. You pay your own bills. You don't need to take on board anyone. I have a favorite saying about opinions, is that everybody has an opinion because everyone's entitled to an opinion. But it's what you do with that opinion that matters. And that's seriously what it's all about. If you take on board everybody's opinion, you'll be 6 foot under before you know it. If I took on board a fraction of everyone's opinion, I'd be dead. I don't. There comes a point when I think I was saying this earlier, when you become comfortable, it's not about ego. It's not about having a chip on your shoulder. When you just become comfortable with who you are, none of anyone else's opinions matter, because they're not paying your bills. They're not you. Everybody reacts differently to every single situation in life. We're all not the same. If we're all the same, we'd be boring, right? So, he may have got you at a vulnerable point. And that's okay, because you've actually learnt from this. So that's the power of taking back your power. You learnt something from this, okay? Don't take on the guilt. Don't sit there and go, what did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? Did I act? Did I do something stupid? Stop all those comments going around in your head, because Spirit says that all this devaluing yourself in these sort of comments are happening in your head nightly. And by allowing that to happen, you're allowing yourself to have more energy zapped and zapped and zapped and zapped, where you become kind of like, oh, I can't be bothered getting out of bed today. What do I need to get out of bed for? I'm hopeless. Don't want to go to work today because I'm useless. These are all the things that make you, because it's your voice saying it, makes the negativity so much worse, and therefore you're taking away your own power. Stop that. Stop that. Definitely this. Yeah. Call me psychic. I know that's where your head is, because Spirit is showing me all this crap. It's kind of like, oh my God, like I need to get this out to get the other in. But that's how you take back your own power. That's how you take back your own power, because you don't give the other person's name or their comments or their thoughts or their opinions. You don't give that the time. And you take back your own time, and that therefore you take back your own power. And I believe you'll do it, and I do wish you well on it. I really do. I really do think you'll turn it around. And it won't happen overnight. It really won't. but it will happen. I know that there's a song or something that says that, and it will happen. But you've got to kind of say to yourself, do you know what? I need to. I'm very messy in the poor old brain. Yeah, but you know what? When you keep saying that, and again with respect, if you keep saying that your brain is messy, you're actually asking your brain to stay that way. You know, the other side of my business is counseling, and I know a lot of stuff about the brain. And, you know, it's not about just being a coach or a life coach or anything like that teaches you mindset or the power of, affirmations and stuff like that. I spent over 20 years studying the brain, and the more we put ourselves down, even if it's just a fleeting comment, if you bark your toe, it's a favorite saying of mine. If you, bark your toe, we all swear when we do it. But what do we also say? Oh, God, I'm stupid. God, I'm clumsy. What happens the next day? It happens again because you've put out in the universe that you're stupid and clumsy. And it happens again. This is the power of how the mind changes things, because the subconscious mind does not go to sleep at night, but the conscious mind does. And the subconscious mind loves negativity. So the subconscious mind is awake 24/7. So if you give it a small amount of negativity before you go to bed, it rolls with that all night, and that small amount becomes big. And then you think the problem is bigger than it is, or the problem's worse the next day, but the problem hasn't changed. I said this to someone earlier on. The problem doesn't change. It's what you allow. But it is a process. It is a process of understanding your mindset and being proactive in pulling yourself up when you say the wrong things, or pulling yourself up when you say things that that aren't real favorable to yourself. If you say something like, "Oh, I'm stupid," then you say straight away, "Oh, no, I'm not. I was only kidding. I'm right." You counteract it straight away. As crazy as that sounds, but if you counteract it straight away, the subconscious doesn't pick up on it. It allows that to just kind of go, "Do you know what? I've turned it around, and therefore it's not negative." And a little tidbit: if you are still struggling with certain things, then before you go to bed, whether you have a glass of water, a cup of tea, not coffee, but a cup, whatever, before you go to bed, make sure you just have a packet of affirmation cards beside your bed. Just pull one. Because when you say that, if you say an affirmation before your head hits the pillow, that's actually what's in your subconscious. And that allows then sometimes the problems to kind of go in separate areas, so they're all separated rather than all together and being, allowing themselves to fester as such. Because you've given your subconscious something nice to think about before you put your head to the pillow. It can be as simple as that to start the change. And then you just won't be so down on yourself, or whatever, because it just helps the mind think differently. And I just think I feel that you're such a gentle soul, that would give anyone the shirt off your back. But I just don't think that right now that you have confidence within yourself, because someone has taken your power away. Change that wording and go, "Do you know what? They've tried to take my power, but I'm better than that, and I won't allow them to, and I'm stronger than that." And that already starts killing off what you're already thinking about that person, yeah? Does that make sense? Anyway, I hope it does. Yeah. Big night. It's been a big night. But thank you all for joining. I have to go back to Mike. Michael Foley, are you still here? Can you please pop your question back up, please? Holly, thank you for commenting throughout the night. You've been a few positive comments for everybody to see, which is fantastic. Thank you so much. And thank you for your time. I think you've been here throughout the whole thing tonight too. Michael Foley's still here. Michael, I haven't put you to sleep. More than 2.5 hours. Am I crazy? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. See, I have such a wonderful audience. That's what I call that. Okay. You wanted to ask about your holiday. I have planned or tried to plan with friends, and I've been so stressed and worried about that I've almost cancelled a few times. I just want to ask about whether I still get that. Michael. When you say you've planned and you've tried to plan, has there been backwards and forwards, toing and froing on either a destination or a time that you want to go, and there's some people jumping in and saying, no, that's not right, let's do it here, let's do it there. There seems to be a lot of toing and froing with certain with certain other people possibly throwing their 2 cents in. I mean, I know the holidays for a couple of people, not just yourself, but I kind of wonder if it's almost been cancelled, if you can, because I know your mind would probably think of every scenario, let's say it that way. And I think that would even add some scenarios in there that aren't quite right, is what I hear. But that would be the subconscious taking over. If you pull yourself out of the scenario and actually say, you know, do I really, I know you really want this holiday. Do I really need everybody around? Do I really need, if I want to go on a holiday, I mean, I'm a person, Mike, I don't know what you're like in this instance. I know myself, if I want to do something, sometimes I actually don't even ask anyone to go with me, because sometimes I just want to go. I've been planning for a group of friends, but I always said to my friends, I'm doing it for me. I just want to go away and see friends too. Okay. If you're planning it for a group and no one's really helping you and you're supposed to be the mastermind and whatever, and then someone's not happy and whatever, why are you bestowing that upon yourself? Why are you sort of saying, you know, you're giving people reasons to kind of say, no, this is not right, that's not right, this is not right. And this is probably what all this toing and froing is all the time that I feel there. And I also think, do you know what? I know you're saying that you're doing it for you, but I want you to step up as you and put some demands in. I mean, I don't say that word very often because I'm not a demanding person, but I want you, if you're going to plan for friends, then I would just say, do you know what, guys and girls, this is the date, this is where we're going. If you want to come. If you don't, we're not. Because all the toing and froing, all the changing of dates, all the changing of the itinerary, all it's doing is doing your head in. And by the time you go, because there's been so many things going wrong before you go, that you're going to have a bunch of complainers. I'm sorry, but that's what you're going to get. It won't be the holiday. It won't be the holiday that you want. All my friends are in Melbourne and I'm going down there. It's more among the money and getting the money from it. But some friends have been wishy-washy. Well, they've been wishy-washy in the situation for a reason. How many times, can I throw another scenario at you? How many times have you been in a works office or not necessarily family, well, it could happen with family, but how many times you been in like a lotto thing together with a few people, or the lottery, and everyone's supposed to put in like $2 or $5 a week? How many times do you have to go begging for everyone's $5? But the minute those people like haven't paid, the minute that you win, they're the first ones that want their money, but they haven't paid. I mean, seriously, that's gone on for how many years? Stop. You're using so much of your own beautiful energy to try and arrange some things that is not all going to fit into line when you finally get it down pat anyway. I say, pick the date, pick the time, go do it. If others want to do it, fantastic. If others don't take it to heart and don't take it on board. Because at the end of the day, it is, if you're doing it for you, then it's your holiday. You don't want to be the babysitter on the night, do you? You don't want to be the oh, Michael arranged that, let's go and complain to Michael. You don't want to be that person, do you? Do you not want to go and have fun? Do you want to go and switch off the whole world of, you know, whether it's switching off all the psychic, whether it's switching off all the problems that you might have with finances or struggling with other things? Like, you need to shut all that down to actually go and enjoy a holiday, whether it's even a short holiday or not, doesn't matter. But if you're allowing some negativity to come into it because you're trying to do the best for everybody, then you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And that's probably why it's not working. You're putting too much pressure on yourself. And nothing's really going to plan. And by the time you go, you're going to be so exhausted you really don't want to go. And that's where I think you sit right now. You don't want to go because I think you've had enough. Well, stop doing it for everybody else. If it's ready for you, pick a date, pick a time, and do it. If people are coming along, or if people are at the other end and they can do it, great. Makes it even more exciting. But if they're not, make your own fun, love. You don't need others to have fun. You can do this. You can do it. I just don't know why you give that sort of energy that much time. You're in the industry of using energy for all sorts of things, but you're allowing this sort of negativity to to bring this on board to you. You seriously don't need that. Okay. Oh, you've written me a love story. That'll take away my whole head. I've been that person, so I know that feeling, and I've told them either pay or just cancel that and do my own thing, and that just makes it slightly hard because I want it to work, but I need them to make it cheaper. Need that break so desperately after 3 years running the business with Mum, but I understand what you're saying completely and makes total sense. Thank you for giving me some food for thought on the situation. I'm thinking to literally, so thank you. Yeah, look, you are. We'll always write you a love story because I love you. Bless you, my sweet. You've always got a compliment for me. It's so lovely. You've always got a compliment. But I just think, Michael, it weighs you down. I used to worry about if I had to do 100 things to help 100 people, if I only got to 99, I used to worry about the one I missed or the one I didn't have time for. But those 100 people didn't care about my time. Those 100 people didn't care if I missed out on dinner or missed out on 10 hours sleep. They didn't ask, They didn't ask. So stop trying to be, and I'm trying to be as kind and as honest as I can. Well, I always am anyway, so I don't know why I say that. But, you don't always have to be the champion, because not everybody will think of you in that light. They'll just go, oh, yeah, leave it with Michael. Michael will fix it. I mean, I have so many people for years, and I can go through some tragedies in life, but everybody says, oh, Rob's right. She's all right. Because I'm always I'm not a drinker, but I'm always the life of the party. I'm the one with the personality. I'm the one that says what I feel. I'm the one that has the heart. I'm the one that has the soul. Do you know what I mean? And everybody thinks that I'm okay 24/7. Well, I'm not always okay. I mean, I'm a human being. I'm not always okay 24/7. Nobody is. But everybody I've known for 30, 40 years will always say, oh, don't worry about Rob. She's right. I don't have anybody that even says, are you okay? And I'm not saying that for any other reason, but just giving you an example, okay? I don't need to have that said to me, but you know what I mean? It's when we do things for others all the time because we think it's part of us, and it is part of us, because when we have a kind heart and whatever, we do that, okay? But if you're doing it for 100, you'd be lucky if 10 or 15 were grateful for it. So stop trying to be the champion. You're a champion in your own right. Stand in that own right and own it as that. Yeah? Oh, Mum's here too. Glad to hear someone else telling you. Well, I'm trying to, Kim. Don't have to be the mum. Once the holiday arrives, I told them when we are down there, I'm buggering off. Yeah, well, that's true. Like, you do what you want to do. You're paying your way. I do something that, I was on a cruise with the lovely Janina. She hasn't jumped on tonight, or when she might be lurking in the background. I'm surprised Michael DeMarco is not here, actually, unless he is silently sitting in that background just watching with his evil eye. No, I'm kidding. Michael's normally here, that's all. But I went on a cruise with the lovely Janina, and and she liked the art gallery and the art auctions, and I couldn't stand it. But then she said, well, have you ever been? I'm like, well, no, but I'm not a lover of all this, art and all the rest of it. Oh, okay. Sorry, Kim. I had everybody tonight is paid. Michael, I was throwing in at the very end before I was saying good night. I'm so sorry. Another time, Kim. As I said, I'm pushing. I'm heading towards 3 hours here. I'm dry as a cocky's cage. What is it? The bottom of a cocky's cage. And she said to me, "Well, just come for 10 minutes, just so you know what it's like." So I kind of went, oh, "Okay, we're on a cruise together, so I'll go and do something that she's really into, and I don't mind." And I went, and in 10 minutes, hated it, and I said, "You know what? You can stay here as long as you want. There's plenty to do on a ship. I'm off." She didn't get offended because she knew that I at least attempted it. And I actually didn't have to, but I thought, you know what? What is all the hype about? I'll just go and see for myself so I actually know. And it wasn't my cup of tea at all. And I just went off and did something else. So that's what you do. You look after yourself. No one, well, your mum's here, but you know what I mean when I say no one pays your bills. You do what you want to do. And if it offends someone else, well, so be it. I get people that can get offended just because of my existence. Again, if I take that on board, I'd be dead. You just don't need that sort of stuff, yeah? Yeah? Anyway. All right. I can almost do a charity night, like 2 hours, 49 minutes. Guns blazers. Everyone that is still here, I thank you all very much for your time. It's been a pleasure coming back to doing a live. I have missed it so much, but the last couple of months it really has been technical issues because of all the rain that we've had, and I've had damage to my property, all sorts of things. So, my focus has been on my work with all my bookings, and of course, having my place damaged. I had damage at Christmas time, and then 2 lots of damage since with all this crappy weather. So I'm sorry I haven't been on regular. I really do apologize. I will be here so much more regular. I used to do it Tuesdays. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Absolutely love you, and thank you for setting me straight on then. Not a problem, Michael, anytime. I've got your back. At the end of the day, I'm hoping to be here. My plan is, again, going back to every single Tuesday night. And, it's they always go for 2 hours regardless. And if tonight, if nobody actually, any of the viewers, if nobody actually, paid for a reading, that's okay. Like, I don't get offended at it, but it also gives you an insight as to who I am, how I connect with spirit. My passion is always connecting with spirit. I mean, some people do lives and they shuffle cards, draw cards, and that's fine. That's their thing. I don't necessarily need cards to connect with spirit. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I don't. But I'm known for my mediumship. Even on Psychic TV, it's mediumship. I have to put up this review that Jane, the boss of PTV, sent me today, and it was a lady who said I read for her back in 2006, and I told her something that was going to happen in 10 years' time or something, and it happened, and she described it word for word. And it was hard for me to tell her that she was going to be in a plane crash, but she was going to survive. It was actually quite hard, but it happened, and she explained the plane crash, and she did survive, and she sent this beautiful email into Psychic TV today, actually. And it was the boss sent it to me so I could read it. And I just went, wow. So that will go up. I'll put that on my Facebook tomorrow because it was so beautiful after so long. Quite extraordinary. But yeah, I was very grateful. And I'm very grateful for you viewers for coming back tonight and having me in your homes for almost 3 hours. I'm surprised some of you aren't bored. But hey, then as Michael DeMarco said, I have a voice for podcasting, and I can talk. So that's the next best thing for me. And I've bought the equipment. I just have to get my space organized and get all my time sorted out so I can do that, and that will be very, very special. So that's coming up. So again, I just want to thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for everybody who I read for, who validated what spirit brought through for them, because it is very, very special bringing through spirit to so many, from so many loved ones to all you guys. So it's been a pleasure. And I'll get emotional if I keep saying anything more. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm glad to be back. I've missed a lot of you very so much. Thank you to my regulars. Thank you for all the newbies. And I'll see you next Tuesday night. Thank you. Have a great rest of the week. And if anyone wants to book in with me privately, please just go to my website or go to my Facebook page and send me a message and we'll sort that out. But again, thank you so much for joining and I'll see you all soon. Night, everybody. Sleep well.